Gesundheit.
Hello and good evening to the Initiative Order, and welcome once again to Chalice, Twilight Roads. Before we jump in to meet everyone once again, or for the first time for some of you, we just want to give a quick shout out to our wonderful sponsors this week and let you know what they've got set up for us and for you, of course. So, we've got the same group as normal, so let's give you a quick rundown on who they are, what they do, and where you can go and get a little bit of help with them. So first and foremost, we have Session Zero Clothing, which is some beautiful D&D inspired streetwear. At their checkout, you can use the word order, all in caps, to get 15% off. We've also got Norse Foundry, who are some artisan dice makers. Beautiful to beautiful dice. Again, if you want to use the code TIO15 at the checkout, you'll get 15% off there. You've also got the roaming player gear, which are, again, lovely player gaming supplies, all for the tabletop. There, you want to use the phrase Carnaby20, and you'll get 20% off on their Dice Tower Tray combo set. You've got Mithril Armory, makers of the amazing Tin D20s, which we gave one away last week, and Sketch Dice. You've used the code Initiative there for 10% off of their web store. Finally, you've got Umbral Oculus Dice, which I did pronounce properly this time, for handmade custom dice made by the Initiative Order's very own Taryn. If you want to use the code Initiative for 10% off on the full set of dice in her store, fire away and make sure you visit at least one of them, if not all of them, and give them your support and, frankly, ours via you. Right, now we've done that, let's meet our players. And in the way we always do, I'm not going to pick any particular order because I'm just going by what order they're on my screen. So let's start today with Holly. Who are you? What do you do?
So my name is Holly, and I play the character of Edlynnne Castron. And I have no words this week. My brain is fried. That was the worst introduction I've ever done in my life.
Good start. Well done.
10 out of 10.
Set the bar.
We aim to impress. Lynn, please do better. Please.
Hi, I'm Lynn. I play Cecily Marshall. She is an alchemist. In this, she's sort of the quieter, more naive one of the group, very much the mum of the group. And even though we're only 2 sessions in, she is definitely wondering what on earth she's got herself into.
If it helps, I know how she feels. Billy, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Hello, I am Billy, playing tonight and hopefully future Subil, who is, most recently the carriage driver. Let's go with, that. And is desperately just trying to make it through and get everyone else through.
Perfect, thank you very much. Max, same for yourself, my man.
Hi, I'm Max. I play Jules Hope. She is a lovely character who just wants to kind of help in a way that doesn't... Basically, fuck the guard. So that's my character. She's helping out driving at the moment.
We can all aspire. Jago, fire away.
Hello, I'm Jago Ash. I play Jack Cooper. Let's not die. We've been doing our best so far. Well, most of us have. No names will be mentioned. But you know who you are.
Offensive.
That's all I need.
And on that note, James, please.
Hi, I'm James. I play Alister, and I've not died yet, which is a shock to absolutely everybody on this call.
Oh yeah.
Alister's having a good time. He's alive. He's feeling more alive than he ever has, thanks to getting shot full of some black goo, which is probably not great for him. But whatever, he's good. I'm good. I am part of Black Cats Gaming. We do games. We make games. I'm sure I'll talk about it more later. You can follow us on Follow Black Cats and myself at Gillenstern on Twitter. But mostly, like everyone else on this call, I try not to die on a Wednesday. Well, I don't die on a Wednesday so far. Let's say I don't actually die.
So far, keywords.
Yeah, I mean, we've all met Ben.
Yeah.
So far is as good as we can get.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, that's me. I'm Ben. I'm, the architect of their anguish, starting now and going on forevermore. And now you've met us all. If you do want to support us more directly, or any of the team, even if you don't particularly like me, you might like them. I don't blame you. That's how we normally work. We do have a Ko-Fi that is lurking somewhere in the chat. I tell you its name. I wrote it. I can't remember it right now. It's been a very long day. And on that note, let's roll the introduction, please. Hello and welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed the intro as always. Just going to make sure my subtitles are correct. Right, so as with last week, we're going to start today with a quick recap. Now, as much as we can all appreciate Jago's in-depth description of everything that happened in session 1 from start to finish, to including bits that I personally had forgotten, we are going to do the same thing. We are going to ask someone to give us a quick old recap on how last session went, where you all are now, and frankly, what you expect to happen next. If you are completely accurate and you make me happy, which is very difficult to do, I'll reward you with a lovely, lovely void point. However, to speed things up a wee bit, we are going to pop a little 2-minute timer on there as well, which I'll be tracking myself. Mainly so I can pretend that it's over when I want it to be over. So,
Who's going to do it then, guys?
I'm going to ask for a volunteer.
I do not volunteer as tribute, so.
Neither do I.
Well, congratulations for volunteering, Holly.
I said I do not, no.
You spoke first.
I can give it a go.
Go, Lynn, go. You got
Go,
this.
Right, let's do this.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
On the mark.
M&M this shit. You got this.
Set.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, episode 2, the one that takes us an entire episode to get into a carriage. So we open where we left off. It's raining. Sam's there holding a heart in his hand and he's crying. Jack goes to help him and we head towards the carriage. Jules makes Eddie carry the body along with us. There's a loud bang and then loads of people come out the bar who are looking for us. Sybil decides to distract one of them by running up to them and going, they went the other way. It works. Sybil and Alister somehow manage to scurry into the barn. Jack also manages to scurry into the barn but first he gets spotted by Schmitz. Schmitz shoots at him but misses. Jack manages to get into the barn. Jules tries to shoot Schmitz but misses as well. I set my dog on the bad guy, rips him to shreds. We're fine. And then Alister comes along, slams his sword into Schmitz's head, killing him. Alister picks up the body and takes it to him because apparently that's what we do. We like to take bodies places. Inside, Jules is able to see the guards are still looking for us, and then I loot the corpses once Alister's brought Schmitz's body in, and then Alister decides to pose them in a beautiful manner to look like the two guys have been fighting, so it throws a few people off the scent, but not before we steal all their weapons, shot, and money. Eddie's standing guard, music's beginning to sort of start up in the bar again. And then, we find stuff that's more looting. Jack takes Sam into the carriage and notices that the little refrigerator compartment that's in there, the door's slamming, it's getting a bit cold and it's a little bit creepy.
30 seconds.
Jules is hitching the horses.
30 seconds. 25 seconds.
Jules hitches up the horses. I go into the carriage and find that there's nothing actually happening. It's all Jack seeing this, and then we decide that we really need to leave. A guy, one of the guards, comes into the barn, shoots Alister in the arm. Alister nearly dies. I inject him with black blood. He survives. We end up in the carriage. We're on the road. It's still raining. There's a forest. We spend the night. Something weird happens to Alister. He cooks us a hare. Then it's morning and a figure comes out the bushes, and that's where we end.
Hey! Fucking hey!
Nice.
Hey!
Well done. Take that.
Really, Gonzalez.
The skinnier teeth.
Whoa.
Do I get the void point?
You get the void point.
That's what we like to hear.
And I'm not going to treat this like any form of budget. You used exactly your 2 minutes, so you get to keep it next time.
Yay!
If you'd gone under, well, that would have been bad for everyone.
So you have to go exactly to 2.
You have 1 second left.
Damn.
And obviously it doesn't work in the opposite direction.
I was going to say, surely if it... No?
No, you know that's not how that works.
No, that's fair.
Nothing worked when it's convenient for you.
Facts. Right. Well, picking up where we left off, we return to the party, waiting within the woods, some few miles away from the Strangest of Places. The worst of the storm from the night before has petered off at this point, and the small clearing amidst a large woods full of oak trees and deer and one less hare than there was before. We find much of the party slowly rousing themselves to wake, to find their new ally, Alister, leaning over a small campfire, a freshly roasting hare on a spit, just turning in front of him. And I've sat, still filled with this smaller level of exuberance from the day before, even if sleep has drained that from him slightly. The party sits in a large circle around, eating, feasting on the fruits of his labours, when all of a sudden there's movement. One of the bushes nearby begins to rustle. A few seconds pass, and in a flurry of motion, the leaves push apart and a small figure darts free, sprinting directly at the group. Without a second's thought, Edlynnne springs from place, draws her sword, and uses it to point out at the small bunny that has sprung into place directly.
I hate you so much.
Breakfast.
It sits there, just looking back at Edlynnne, blade inches from its face, as the rest of the party is twisted in place and just watching. It just kind of leans up, sniffs the tip of the blade, its nose twitching, and we come to you guys.
I'm just drawing the
Please.
sword. I don't want to kill a bunny. It's too early for this.
You just take your blade and
Generate
shoot
50
it back in
chaos.
place.
Kill a bunny and we're all gonna die.
God damn.
You've all seen Monty Python, right? You know what bunnies can do.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. We need a holy hand grenade.
Start
Right.
praising it like a god.
5 is right out.
Otherwise, we're all dead. 5 is right. Jesus. Cool.
Well, I'm just going to turn my attention back to my breakfast and trying to dry out a bit.
Yeah, how's the weather? Is it?
Within the small clearing you've made out for yourselves, the air is still quite damp. You can feel that, well, that the moisture hanging there from the night before. There's an unsteady atmosphere floating around, as many of you still have kind of the events of the night before lingering over you. But otherwise, quite warm, fairly temperate.
Okay.
You can hear the wind outside, the trees above you moving slightly swaying from side to side.
Okay.
The rabbit, having now kind of been left to its devices, just bounces back off, heading into another nearby bush.
So, how's everyone doing?
Damp.
Damply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moist.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. Right. What have you done to, you know? 'Cause I still have no idea what actually you've done.
So, a lot of it is sort of accidental, looked bad from
Right.
understandably from there. But the
What's the
kidnapping.
end goal?
Get out of here.
Okay.
We just want to go.
That's
We don't want anything to do with this place anymore.
I'm more than happy to help, but I do have to ask. You know, I'm here for the cause, but what's the deal with the kid?
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Kind of as you mention them, just still kind of turning over in the carriage. The door's still been left open. You can see Sam in there, still kind of snuggling into the blanket that Jack left there the night before, still gripping their teddy bear.
Good boy.
We don't really know much about the kids. Them taking the heart out of the chest was something we've never seen them do before. So
Right, but like that specifically. But what has the name of the kid? That might be nice.
we call him Sam.
Sam.
Sam, right? Does
Yeah.
Sam do things like that? Has
No.
Sam done stuff like
Well,
that?
He's a channeler, as far as we can tell. I mean, the doy, no shit. It seems like he can phase through solid objects. That appears to be his channeling, I guess, is from what we've seen.
Right.
That's our... And,
Okay.
he's never done anything quite that
Next question. Someone mentioned hands and a guard missing at some point.
Yeah.
And that guy over there, every time I say the word hands, he shivers. That's weird. That can't be a coincidence.
Yeah, we don't really like that word around here anymore.
Hands?
Okay, yeah, stop.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
What's wrong with hands?
Right.
Shut the fuck up. Don't say it.
Honestly, stop
Sorry.
saying that word, please.
The deal
Ah,
is, we've got channelers here, which, as I guess you've probably seen, aren't the most welcome of bunch. My job to get them out of here, and we need to leave.
So you're not a channel. Who? Raise your hands if you're a channeler. Anyone?
That's just me and the
It's
kid.
just you and the kid.
There was one more, but he unfortunately, the Inquisition got to him, and we couldn't help.
It's been a
That sounds
long
like
journey already.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm here to help. For the time being, and you
Just the-
guys probably
just the-
need it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
generally here to help any, especially channels. But does the kid speak at all? Is that
He has. He doesn't speak verbally. I've been trying to teach him the best I can sign language.
He does understand English. but-
He can hear he can hear and understand Chalician, but
right?
he doesn't speak. He's mute. He doesn't speak any language.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been teaching him
Good to know.
sign language best I can so he can communicate back to us, but it's
Right?
slow goings. Also, I'm not the most fluent myself. That's most of the issue.
Actually, question, because I joined you after you. How did you come across the child? Like, where did you find him?
Yeah.
Was he in a hedge?
No, he was
The hedge
given to
child,
us
I've seen
along
those.
with our other channel of friends.
Nasty.
It's the same. We have to
So-
deliver him from harm. It's the job.
Yeah,
Gone excellently so well so far.
Sybil, is it? Have you done this before? Like, are you known to curry the
All the time.
guys?
I've been doing this for years, but
Ah.
not quite to this scale.
You fucked up a few times, I'm gonna be honest.
I
Well,
did not. fuck
there
up.
was
There was
a
a complication in the teamwork.
that's
Right.
Right,
So I
you're
was
right.
complication
The
in the
team
teamwork.
fucked up.
there was
Can I
a
just-
Fucked up.
that implies that we have the blame to share. There was an individual who was a bit of a loose cannon and
Loose bottle.
and a loose Molotov,
Loose
so to
bottle.
speak.
So
And,
you're saying the people that all died in the bar was his fault?
No, that was us.
Right, okay, so you do stuff like that.
Well, we gotta
In
get
all
out of here.
fairness, they were the aggressors.
You're right, you are right, but still.
I'm sure you've seen plenty of bar.
Oh, I have. Sure as hell as I have.
And I mean, as far as I'm aware, it only got violent once. It only got deadly once weapons were drawn.
Right.
Once
Okay.
they drew weapons on us, it got deadly.
I'm okay with going with you, right? But I have kind of a rule of like, try not to kill people.
We're
That's-
doing.
So, if I'll do my best, but I'm not gonna pull a gun every time, hun.
Just
We're,
very quickly, just while you guys are talking, I'm just going to say I'm just like kind of looking around, just like looking around and see if I can hear anything else because I really do not trust where we are right now. Forrest is a scary man. So just putting it out there, I'm kind of on guard while the conversation's happening.
You're all kind of just leaning in and chatting, and just behind you, having finished their food and placed the plate just quietly down, Edlynnne's just placed a sword on her lap and is just watching the tree line. And as you continue, kind of when you get to the point in the conversation you've just reached, Edlynnne, you become very aware that just from the same bush that the rabbit re-entered, you hear another small amount of rustling. Kind of keep your eye on it for a moment, and that movement in the bushes just makes its way around the external edge. Every now and then you just hear a small crack of a twig, or the sound of a bird or other little piece of local fauna move slightly. It's become very, very aware of it.
I'm just gonna, all my attention's going on that then. Like I'm just gonna drown out the conversation completely.
You continue to focus. You continue to focus on it and just keep an eye, and nothing else seems to happen. If anything, after a moment or so, the rustling goes quiet, and the conversation around you continues to build up a little bit and absorb your attention, if only slightly. Please continue.
So what I'm saying is I have no problem getting stuck in, but I would prefer to try and be a bit more
Yeah, we've tried to not.
stealth if we could.
We're trying to
And with Jules
avoid
on that, then.
conflict.
Yeah.
We are. That's what our goal has always tried to be. But the moment we sit down for 20 seconds, something is we're either moving or we're fighting. It doesn't stop, and we've been trying.
What my friend is trying to say is that our goal, ideally, is to go entirely unseen, entirely without incident, straight to our destination.
Right.
We've
I like
had
that.
a little bit of a bout of bad luck, and
Yeah.
it's following us. So
Right.
it's very nice to
Yeah,
have
you
some
can say
people
that.
on board. That our first solution is not the blade,
Yeah.
and I hope that ideology remains consistent.
And actually works out. Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes circumstances press the best beliefs or intentions we have.
Yeah.
But let's go with it. Nice to have you on board.
Yes.
Welcome to the team.
Huzzah!
Thank you.
Huzzah!
And
Have
thank
we
you
all
for
done in-
whatever it was that perked me up. Let's call
You're
it that.
welcome. I'm not entirely sure what was in it, but it did the job it was meant to do.
That was my question. What was in that?
I have no idea. I was just told
Okay,
it could bring people back from the dead.
Just sticking random needles in people from strangers.
I mean,
Yeah.
usually I wouldn't be up for that, but it
It
definitely
worked.
worked. And if we
It
can
did.
find some more, I'm more than happy to
I would definitely like to procure some more.
have that happen
That
again.
would-
That was great. It felt really
Um,
good.
I'm interjecting
Yeah.
again and saying again while you guys are talking. I'm standing up because I'm scared of our position. We know what we've been like before with seemingly quiet areas, so I'm standing up. The sword's like coming out again. I am fully focused and like on the surroundings now. So
As you kind of give Alister and Jules their official welcoming into the family, Edlynnne stands up, draws her blade, and just kind of breaks the conversation around her. Watch her eyes follow around the edge of the clearing until the point it stopped just kind of behind where the carriage is. Hitting just the edge of it. And as the silence falls over the rest of the group, just quite naturally, can I get an insight observation check from everyone, please?
If I have a thing in hearing, would that help?
Yes, it will.
Roll with new dice.
3
That is a-
passes.
one pass from me this time.
Who fails?
Yeah.
See shit.
One.
2 fails.
I'm probably distracted by a robin or something.
For most of
Birdie.
you lose kind of, you don't really track anything specific. You can just hear the general sounds of the woods around you. The distant cawing of birds, the rustling of more animals underfoot, and even just the light snoring coming out from the interior of the carriage. Jules, however, cutting through all of that, enough to generate you a point of momentum as well. Please, Jago.
Yeah, boy.
You hear footsteps. Definitively soft footsteps, but footsteps nonetheless, making their way around the edge of the clearing, just to the point where your carriage blocks line of sight from where you are to where the sound is originating from. The feet are, well, audible, practiced.
Guys, I think there might be a security guard that's going through. Let's hop on and let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, I second that motion.
Good.
Let's go.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah. All right.
Stomp out the
Pack up
fire and
everything.
start
Yeah.
packing up.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, they're packing up. Can I start making my way over to the carriage to try to grab Sam?
Yeah, of course. Most of you just start rapidly starting to pack things up. Edlynnne, you make your way towards the carriage, climb inside, and just check over Sam. Absolutely fine, still quite happily resting. You can hear the sound of everyone just rapidly kind of clearing up behind you. The immediate shouts of that tent that was so arduously crafted suddenly falling apart under the weight of its own, well, ineptly designed frame. Let's just roll a little luck check here. Okay.
Told you it was the green poles and not the yellow one.
It was
colorblind.
Color coded for a reason.
I'm colorblind.
We're in the middle of a storm, Sybil.
Cannon.
Deep breath.
Edlynnne, can I get you to make a quick insight observation check of 1, please?
That's a nat 1, my friend.
Ooh.
That's what we want to see. Generate a point of momentum, please.
Yeah.
Just as you kind of clamber up, you, having now put your kind of line of sight inside the carriage, you can see through the windowless frame over at the bushes where the sound has originated from.
Mm-hmm.
And just as you glance over, you see a set of eyes poking out from behind the bush, or from behind one of the many bushes. This thick mess of blonde hair, very, very untidily cropped out of the way of their eyes. Just watching you for a moment. As you match them, they very hurriedly drop, and you just see this sudden movement in the bush as they start to peel away as quickly as physically possible.
I would like to get out the carriage and be like, guys, there's someone here, someone watch Sam, and I kind of want to follow them because I don't trust people anymore.
Do you just want to turn and say that to everyone, or just shout it as you just kick your way out of the door on the opposite side of the carriage?
I'm shouting it as I'm kicking. If I want to get to that guy as fast as possible, that person as fast as possible, so.
Bellowing as you go, using your boot, you just crash through the carriage door on the other side, leap out, and start charging into the woods. Immediately, you see this figure that was watching you go from a fairly small crouch position to picking themselves up and just bolting. Unable to kind of get a clear line of sight on them as they start darting into the trees and the heavy bush of the woods. You just see a blur of green clothing, a bow wrapped around their back. This, again, tuft of blondish brown hair just rustling past their ears as they run. Can I get a brawn athletics check from you, please? This is opposed.
Yeah. And then my screen decided to go off because I needed that. Another natural 1, but that's also max with a natural 20, so I kind of even myself out there.
Nice.
Only the first one is free.
I failed, but I did it successfully, which is kind of my motto.
Mission failed successfully. You charge after them, just twisting through the tree line as you watch this figure dart almost expertly past the worst of the bracken, literally just leaping over bushes, sliding under old logs, and charging away. You get a very quick glance of them as you see them twist to drop down a small hillside. As they glance back up, you see the face of maybe a boy of about 15, 16, sliding down the hill, mud immediately erupting up around them. They hit the bottom, twist, and start charging up a small river that lines just the bottom of that hill. As you grab up lock your eyes on them, you miss a step, again, at the top of the hill, and just get your foot caught behind a rock as you tumble forwards, slamming into the dirt and just rolling down the rest of that hill, taking a magnificent single point of stress for your efforts.
It's a
I'll
really
also
good thing
assume
she's
at
not
this
trained in balance, so,
I will also use this moment to assume that you didn't try to sleep in armor.
No, because that's uncomfortable.
As hell, yes. So you just tumble down, hit the bottom, land in the kind of the small amount of water that's waiting for you at the base, picking yourself up, now covered in mud across your left arm, up your side, and partially across your features. You glare upwards through the one eye that is now open, just see this young man running up the river in the opposite direction. Obviously, everyone else. You hear Edlynnne shout, and then the sound of the door cracking in place, her leaping out and charging into the underbrush, leaving all of you behind. The sound is enough as one of you just kind of glances up to see Sam snap awake.
Oh, it's too early for this.
Brandishing
Shout
their
after her. Stealthy, low profile.
Stealth! We talked about this!
Oh,
Carriage again.
okay, I'll go.
Right.
Here we go.
Okay, I'll go watch Sam.
I'm not going.
Oh, poor though. Somebody go follow her, please.
I'm gonna charge after her because it's the thing.
I'm going
This
to
is what this
wrestle the
character's
tent
become.
back into submission.
I'm gonna check on the horses, I guess.
Some help.
What, you guys needed a wake up call, okay? I just thought you just thought.
We were already away.
I've not
I
had
was
enough
already
coffee
awake.
for this.
There's never enough coffee
Yeah.
for this.
This is true.
Thank me later, it's fine.
Jebediah be like,
Alister, can I get a brawn athletics check from you then, please? It's just going to be difficulty 1.
Brawn and athletics. Okay. 2 successes.
Wonderful. Generate momentum, please. You
Love it.
charge off after them. There is enough of a distance between you and Edlynnne that you can just about make her out and track her accordingly through the worst of the trees until you see her take a bit of a sprawl, hitting the top of a hill and just rolling down, just crashing into the river at the bottom. You kind of hit the top of the hill, cautiously make your way down, and as you kind of reach her is when you glance up, following her eye line, and see the youth running away from you both.
This is a new level of stealth. Are you going with river camo here? What's going on?
Don't want to talk about it. Do we follow or do we go back to the camp?
What did they look like? What did they see? Are they a threat, do you reckon? What do you think?
They're getting away.
I'm just gonna start like kind of not like running. Actually, no, yeah, not running. But I'm just gonna say, look, he looked like a teenager where anybody could be a threat at this point, and then I'm just gonna start running again.
Okay, let's follow. Follow on
Perfect.
after her.
The two of you charge on after. Can I get you both again to make brawn athletics
I get
checks for me
Oh, yeah,
as you
sorry.
try to make up some speed?
1 success.
2 successes this time.
Perfect. On a mission, Edlynnne immediately sprints away. Alister, you kind of stood there for a moment trying to hold a conversation as she just disappears, charging off up the river.
Yeah.
You then just give chase as best you can. Moments pass for you, Edlynnne, as you continue to run up. You catch sight once again of the youth as he tears off the river, climbing up a small old brick wall that seems to have just been left around the kind of remains of what may have been a small lodging. A little bit off the main road, you can see just between a few trees, a road just kind of making its way up back towards where you know the manor house in this area to be. As you charge after him and you lock eyes just for a moment, you shout something in his direction. Anything in particular you would like to say?
Like, hey, stop for a moment, would you please? But like, obviously, not say please, but like, kind of
So
that kind
polite.
of. No, she was raised with some sort of morals. Okay. She may be chasing after skin with a sword, but she's going to be polite about it.
Do you mind
You
telling me
shout
stopping?
Yeah. You shout after him as he goes to just vault over one of these low walls. You watch as some of the old brickwork just gives way under his hand, and he just stumbles over it, hitting the floor on the other side, rolling and just knocking into the side of the wall on the far edge of it. Excuse me. With his fail and a complication.
Ooh, nice.
they're gonna suck.
It
Honestly,
doesn't
that's
take
fine.
you too long to just charge up behind him, step over the this kind of small amount of rubble that is now keeping you from him, as he stumbles in place, picking himself up and pushing the wall to his back that he's just hit into, and rapidly just kind of fumbling on his left-hand side for a knife that he's still kind of got latched into a small sheath.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick look over the lad. He's, as I said, wearing a kind of large green jerkin over just very plain clothing. His face is muddy and covered in dirt. You can see kind of a couple of small scars just running over his features here or there. Nothing as if he'd been in battle, just general life. Wrapped across his back is a short bow, which is you just see the kind of string running across his chest, and a very small quiver of maybe 5 arrows still scattered along the floor in front of him, as he continues to just kind of reach for this dagger, trying to pull it free without actually unlatching the sheath.
Mm-hmm.
Stay back! Stay! I don't mean you any harm. Stay back! It just finally kind of breaks it free and holds it up in this very unpracticed manner.
Yeah. I'll see him do that, and I'll just like kind of I'll actually sheathe my I'll kind of like put my I'll hold my sword in one hand, kind of like just like holding it like there. Put my other hand up and be like, look, we don't mean you any harm either. We just want to know why you were watching our group. That's all.
It's at this point, Alister, that you kind of jog in after them, just slowing as you see that Edlynnne has stopped, and you can just make out the rough shape of someone else. As you kind of close in, you come just as Edlynnne finishes the sentence there. I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. Whoever you people are, it's none of my business. I was just curious.
No, that's absolutely fine. Again, we're not here to cause you any harm. We're just curious. That's all. You can put the knife down. I promise. We're not going to hurt you.
Make a will persuasion check for me, please. Difficulty 1.
Will persuasion.
I can't assist you because honestly, I'm not promising not to hurt the kid.
Deception.
Well,
What
when my
happened
dice
to our
fell-
nice, stealthy, low profile?
Low profile stealth.
Well,
One
see,
of my
here's the thing.
dice-
Welcome to the group.
I'm saying, yeah, one of my dice fell, but the one that didn't fall was a 6. So that's a pass. It's just one pass, but it's a pass.
Holds the knife and just kind of opens his other hand, just lets it drop in front of him, and it just keeps it up. Keeps both hands up.
I think when he does that, I'll like kind of kneel down, kind of, because he's still sat against the wall, isn't he? So I kind of like kneel down and kind of do eye level, and I'll put my like sword on the ground next to me, but like I'll kind of like keep on his level.
Awesome. He kind of his eyes. Sorry, go on, Alister.
No, I was going to say I'm just going to step in behind Edlynnne and just with a distance, but also close enough that I could grab the kid if.
I feel like we're about to do a good cop, bad cop kind of thing here, and I'm very here for it.
I feel like we should be the other way around, though, character-wise. Makes no sense, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I didn't say which cop I was, okay? It's up to you to decide.
Bad cop, worst cop? Let's do that one.
See, this is the ultimate trick. Then you switch cops.
Yeah. I'm really confused.
Basically, we just don't let the kid know who is the bad cop
As long
and
as
who's the worst cop.
As long as we get 3-0 dams, I'm all good. That's all I want.
He just slowly kind of lowers his hands, his eyes darting from Edlynnne to Alister and back. It's just, my name's Toby. I was just looking for some foods. I saw the carriage, thought you might, have something.
I just look at him and then look back at Alister and just kind of look back at him again. But I'm looking at Alister to make sure he's not like holding any weapons out and stuff, because I honestly don't want to stab anyone today. And then just kind of look back at Toby and just be like, no, that's absolutely fine. We honestly don't have any food to spare, but I'm sure we can help you find something before we leave. I did see a quite nice. I know this place is full of bunnies. You can always try to get one of them unsuspected. I heard they're pretty good.
Where are you from, Toby? Where are you staying?
He, again, just kind of very nervously starts to pick himself up from the floor.
Why don't you stay there for a second, Toby? Just stay there for us. And just tell us where you're from.
I live on a small farm. Make a will persuasion check, please, there, Alister. Again, difficulty 1, with intimidation as a focus if you happen to have it.
I don't, although I feel like I would like it. Oh, that is 2 successes.
Perfect. Generate momentum again, please.
Well, that's we already have full, so yeah.
We can have more.
You can ask me a question.
We're going to need more.
Ask a question, guys.
So that'll have to be either Edlynnne or Alister.
Ollie, do you want to go for it?
I'm trying to think of a question. I've been put on the spot here. I wasn't expecting this to go as well as it has done, honestly.
Oh God, this is what happens when things go right.
Whoa, I'm confused. It's kind of like, okay, I want to ask about, you said he's got kind of like a dagger and stuff. I'm just kind of more concerned about that. Does it look like does it look like it's kind of like a regular dagger, or can I kind of prescribe that it's kind of like a dagger that's kind of not what you expect a kid of 15 to have, if that makes sense?
It looks very much like someone has taken a simple kitchen knife and sharpened it over years and years and years, to the point that the blades still holds an edge, but is distinctly smaller than it would have been when it was originally made. By no means a weapon for fighting, maybe a tool at best.
Okay.
As for your question, I'm from a small farm just a few miles to the south. I'm here poaching, okay?
What did you see in the caravan?
I didn't see anything.
Oh, you look like a bright kid. You've got eyes. I'm sure you saw things.
I saw. He points just at Edlynnne, and I might have seen was there? I think there may have been a kid in there. I don't know. I didn't get a good look. I was really just checking the back. You've got all those bags just kind of hooked up to the rear. I was just looking what supplies you may have.
So at that point, I want to walk up, sort of beside. If Edlynn's if Edlynn's here, and the kid is sort of down here, I want to walk up, sort of beside, and do that. Just squat down to his level as well.
Easily done. The two of you now kind of kneeling at his eye level. He again just kind of looks from one of you to the other and starts just pushing himself back up against the wall a little bit more.
You live with people, Toby?
Yeah, my mom and pa.
You go poaching a lot, long periods of time?
Normally a couple of days every other week.
A couple of days. So, how long have you been away this time?
I set off yesterday morning. I mean, I've been out in the storm most of the night. There's a couple of burrows not too far away. I've just been kind of camped near there.
So, I think that my friend here is not in the mood for people seeing things today, because people seeing things, especially people seeing us or seeing anything inside our caravan, or even seeing our caravan, it's not good for us, Toby. We don't like that. We're trying to turn over a new leaf, if you can believe it. We're trying to be incognito, stealthy. You know what that's like. You hunt. You need to be quiet, don't you? Yeah.
I mean,
You didn't see a caravan, did you, Toby? Or you didn't see us? You certainly saw nothing in a caravan, because you've only been gone a day, Toby, and it would be another couple of days before anyone actually missed you. And you don't want to be missed. You want to get some bunnies, as my friend here said. You want to have a successful haul. We know we've done things like that ourselves to feed ourselves. Just this morning, I caught a hare myself, caught it, killed it, cooked it, and now everyone's happy. Everyone can eat. But it's very easy to catch fast-running things sometimes, Toby. We don't have to catch them if they don't see us, or if we don't see them. So, what did you see this morning, Toby? Did you see anything?
Make a will persuasion check, please.
This is going to fail utterly. and
That
it's
was
gonna be
I
fucking
will admit that
goofy
was
voice.
Voice
very
is gonna
intimidating.
crack.
I'm kind
like,
of,
halfway
I'm
through. And he's
You're
just
good.
gonna go, "What are you
If I was Toby, I'd be
What do you
crying
think,
by now.
I'm just putting
I'm
out
kind
there.
of
Edlynnne's
intimidated, goddamn.
intimidated by that. She's like,
That was me.
Use
at like a
momentum.
2.
Use some of the momentum as
Oh,
well.
that's
Yeah,
it,
you've got
Yes,
6
use
that's
momentum
right.
and take it.
Yes, I will.
How much do you want? How many more dice?
Just take 1 or 2.
Just take one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
yes.
Just take one. It might even be funnier if it fails. Frankly, given that speech.
That's true. It would be quite funny.
So
It would be
what are
very
we
funny.
talking? Will persuasion? Do you say?
Will persuasion, I said.
Will persuasion. Okay. That is only the one success. God, lucky I took it.
Fair. Fair. You just finish your speech and just let the words hang in the air for a moment as he just kind of watches you in silence, not moving. Very much making sure he's not moving. I didn't see anything. I'm here alone. In fact, yeah, nothing.
Oh, now Toby.
Nothing.
See, we thought you were here alone, and then you've said that. So you wouldn't lie to us about that, would you, Toby?
No. It's just me. My dad can't leave the house. My mum's too old. It's just me. I swear, please. I swear. On the martyr's name, it's just me.
So very. Do you know? I almost said, "What do we think, Edlynnne?" But I'm not going to say her name. I'm just
Yeah,
going to say, "Yeah, no names,
No names.
no names." What do we think? Do we think Toby has just been chasing after a particularly speedy bunny and is going to chase that bunny in that direction? Points away from where the caravan is.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Toby's been doing. I think he should carry on doing that right now. Honestly.
Well,
Whatever you say. It just kind of looks to. Can I get up?
nobody's stopping you, Toby. Nobody said anything else. There's nobody here but you, is there?
Could do whatever you please.
Very, very, very much, sir. This nervously goes to stand, slips on his own feet, on the mud, kind of lacing his boots, and then once again picks himself up and just scurries away.
Can we can we take a test or anything to check if we thought that he was telling the truth there? Like if there's anything dodgy about him, if he's... Not that I'm paranoid or that you've made
This
me paranoid.
kid's 16.
I am happy.
You're
We've had-
threatening a kid.
It's
We've had
Ben!
experience-
It's
We've had
Ben!
experiences like this before. I'm not
Probably
kidding.
a demon or something, I don't know.
Our heroes.
Well, I didn't intimidate a kid. I was
Yeah, that's
actually
rich
gonna, like,
coming from you, Max.
Threatened a
Consider...
16-year-old.
Yeah, that's rich coming from you, considering your last character.
If you want
know
to
that character
kind
now.
of get a good feel for the guy, get an idea of kind of if he was being truthful or not, can I get you to make an, let's say, will observation check, please?
Can I get helped out by Polly for this?
Yeah, of course.
You can also use a momentum.
It'll be
We
difficult
got a
to
lot of it.
Difficult to
As
do.
he
I might
runs
use
off, you
I'll
both
use a
just-
momentum then, yeah.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
Uh,
Where is it? There it is.
oh, 2 10s and a 16. So 2 successes for me.
And a pass from me as well.
Oh, cool.
Perfect.
Momentum back.
generate momentum.
Lovely. Back up to 5.
You watch as Toby just disappears off, darting into the trees, and you get the solid impression from the way he's moving, stumbling, and kind of putting distinct effort to not look back over his shoulder as he runs, that there was definitive weight to his words. He's definitely telling the truth. You also get the impression as he leaves that he may never have known who you were in the first place.
Once
Just gonna
Toby's
look
out.
at Ed. Yeah, go, I was just going to look at Ed and say, stealth.
Yeah, I'm just like, as soon as Toby's out of earshot, I'm just gonna look at Alister and be like, did you really have to threaten him though? Like, honestly, we could have just talked to him nicely.
You were being so nice, you know, you've got to be good guardsman, bad guardsman about these things.
Yes, but threatening a teenager, like, you've
here.
scarred the poor kid.
I'm here, as we all are, to get the channelers where they need to go.
I appreciate that, but threatening a kid who... You know what? Let's just go back, okay?
I'll do anything that needs doing to get them where they need to go. So...
It's a scary sentiment, but it's probably needed. Let's make a pact to not scare any more kids, because I felt terrible during all of that.
I didn't enjoy it, but...
It seemed like you did.
Well, look, sometimes... What would you have said if that kid had been an agent of the Inquisition? You don't know. They come in all shapes and sizes. It could have been anyone.
If he wasn't threatening, if at any point I felt threatened, I would have... well, not stabbed them, but I would have done something else, because,
I would have stabbed
believe it or
them.
not, I am actually against killing people who don't deserve it. It may not seem like it, but...
Well, we worked out that he didn't deserve it. It was the quickest way, right? And I'm not saying that the kid would have been a threat, but it's the Inquisition. I've heard of some of the stuff that they can do, and it seems like you might have seen some of the stuff that they can do. And snitches come in all shapes and sizes, small, large, and everything else. If they'd run off and told an Inquisitor, if they, there's all sorts of possibilities. We just did what we needed to do. That's all I'm saying.
I get it. I just threatening kids that can be your suggestion. I think next time we go with the good cop or good warden thing, and then see if that also works. If not, we'll keep doing the bad warden thing, as that seems to work. But let's head back before the others think we're dead in a ditch. And please don't tell them that I fell down a hill, because I'm trying to maintain some sort of dignity in the group.
You are
Toby. I saw nothing.
Covered in mud.
I'm just gonna say. I
Wash yourself
or
off.
something. Yeah. Is there like a stream or anything I can kind of just like? Yeah, I'll just wash myself off in the stream beforehand.
Well, but you give yourself a quick wash down as the two of you you're talking as you're walking at this point. And as Toby just disappears off, I get to annoy at least one person in the party by doing this.
Nope, you annoyed too.
Oh.
No!
Please stop, please.
Don't rip it more!
Okay.
That's why we're nice to
My
people,
soul.
so we can get information.
My
Look,
soul.
we could have been nice to him afterwards. We could have, if you go bad, you can always go nice. Once you start nice, you can't intimidate people after that.
You seem to have a very... I was starting nice and you intimidated them, so...
Well,
We could have stayed at his house.
Yeah.
We could have gone to stay with his family.
Still can.
And then promptly got them killed because they were in cahoots with us, so probably for the best.
I thought we were trying to get out of here. I thought we were.
True,
okay.
we are leaving.
I mean,
That's what we're doing.
I thought we were leaving.
It takes you a few minutes to kind of navigate your way back. If I can just get you to make a quick, I would say, insight survival check from either or of you, just to kind of double back.
Ollie, do you want to go for it?
My insight and survival aren't the best, but would orienteering help with this or not?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll give it a go and hopefully I can hold this.
Can I aid that? Can I give it a...
If you have survival, yes.
Another nat one. I'm not even kidding. I'm getting all the nats.
Nice.
I'm getting all the nats
You
today.
look at
These
this.
dice.
The good dice.
Unstoppable
Fire.
machine.
Look at this.
Finally,
Higher.
I'm very happy.
I feel at this point I should go, these dice are available at Modifius.com. They come in a little box that looks like that. It's great.
Definitely not
They do look cool.
Not at all.
We're not. We're not.
Show them off properly. Show them off properly.
I think Max has got it. Max has got the... Look
Here's
at
the
that.
casing.
There
I
we
can
go.
hold up these dice as well. These still.
Whoa! And
Oh, look at this.
whoa! Whoa!
That's
Hate you guys.
Whoa!
Yeah,
good.
alright. Alright.
so
I'm the only one who hasn't received a dice yet. Okay.
We're not saying we're better than you, but we are better than you.
You're just saying that odds are that you'll roll natural
You're not
ones.
saying you're better than me. You're showing you're better than me.
Yeah.
If you want to get your dice at the same time as Jago, you can order them now from Modiphius.net. And I'm not working anymore, so I don't have to, it's past 5 o'clock. I'm not doing that. Let's crack on.
You should all feel ashamed of yourself. Sellouts.
I
They're
don't.
available in black and blue and currently with 10% off.
Indeed.
Is that true?
Lynn knows better than I do.
Yeah.
This isn't the Modiphius website I clicked on though.
Yeah.
God damn.
Anyway.
Way to plug.
Anyway, yeah, I got a nat 1, so I'm doing well today. My survival,
Yeah.
we passed
That
this
was awesome.
observation survival. Or
Several nat
insight
ones.
survival. We'll survive, whatever it was, we passed it.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. You finish up and just kind of washing yourself clear and make your way slowly back towards the camp, where you can find at this point everyone's kind of gathered up, your various bits and pieces, and the caravan is ready to go. As you kind of arrive from the direction you came from, you left via, you can see Jack just kind of sat with Sam, just leaning over the carriage, just kind of looking off into the woods. And as the two of you pace your way through, kind of lifting your feet over everything there, and clambering back into the clearing, Sam jumps off and just runs over to greet the both of you. A big old smile on their face, and just kind of looks you over and just gives you the little signs at you. Are you okay?
I just nod and say, yeah, no, we're okay. And then at that point, I'm just gonna I'll just, I'll pick him up and give him once over to see it and then be like, sorry if I scared you when I kicked open the door.
So, why did you go randomly running off, and why is half your face wet?
Yeah. You're looking a bit
Don't-
damp there.
So I'll answer one of those questions. The other one you're not getting the answer to. There was a person spying on us.
Did you kill
And
him?
Alister.
No.
No, we didn't kill
No.
him.
No.
No, Alister, I think, just completely ruined his life for like the rest of eternity.
What? You did what?
Why?
Well, look,
You were gone for like 20
intimidated.
minutes.
we were stealthy. We stuck to the stealth. We didn't kill anyone.
Right.
I was.
But you
Stealth
ruined
isn't
their
not
life.
killing someone.
That
Well,
It's just not being seen.
Look, I was willing to kill the kid if needed,
okay.
right? But
Yeah, we don't kill
it
kids
didn't come
here.
to that. It didn't come to
How
that.
do
It was
Sybil.
fine.
Step down from that.
How do we keep running?
In someone's life.
Okay, look.
Right.
Well,
But let's
Can
just
we
go.
just go? Can we just
I
go?
was just gonna help him get some bunnies, and then you were like, if you
Walk and talk. Walk and talk. Walk and talk.
we're going to Aaron Sorkin this. Yeah,
Ugh.
look, he's not going to report us to anybody.
He
You know,
probably
we
didn't
put
know who we were.
Yeah, but he might have done.
Why not? If
I
you
was just gonna
scared
show
him
him how
enough,
to-
why wouldn't he call for your phone?
Yeah. If
Yeah,
anything.
Because we put the fear of the martyr into him, so.
you put the
Fine.
fear in the marsh into him, I was gonna help him
And
out
now
to
he's
kill bunnies.
not gonna talk. If
Okay.
he'd got a bunny from us, suddenly it's all, oh look, I got all these bunnies. Oh, my new friends helped me. Oh, who are your new friends? And there we go. Now
If he
it's
got threatened by someone
yeah.
who mugged you, and then
Yeah,
they said,
mugging.
"Don't tell anyone." Tell
No.
me, would you tell anyone?
No, I
would.
mean,
I know I would.
I don't know about you guys, but I'd run
Because-
after them and then beat the living daylights
Okay.
out with them. But that's just me.
Alright, alright.
No,
So,
okay,
so,
I
so what
won't
I'm
tell
hearing
anyone.
here is that we should have killed him.
No.
we
That's
don't
what
kill
it- that's what I'm
Oh,
hearing.
that is never what
kill.
we're
That's the
saying.
takeaway from this.
That's how we got
right?
into the situation in the first place.
You know what? I should have stayed. I should have stayed. I should not have come to Chalice. I should have stayed at home.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We've got one mission, and that mission is to get the channelers where they need to go.
Yeah.
And
Yes, but
you
killing kids
all know
is.
what the Inquisition will do and what lengths they will go to. You've seen it. I've seen it in different ways that I'm sure none of us ever want to talk about. And if it comes to us and them, which I don't want it to, but if it does, I'm willing to go that extra mile because that's what I signed up for.
Now,
That's what
this-
I'm here for.
Now, I understand. However, in this case, the chasers, us, and this person, this person was the them? Did that justify the possibility of murder? I understand we've got to fight for our survival, but that doesn't mean we need to fight for survival against every fight we have. It means that
Not everyone is
pick our
fixed
harder
as-
fights and then fight hard for those.
We talked to
We're
him.
sending the wrong message if we're going around killing everyone as our first resort and then
Yeah.
ruining their life.
We made
as our
sure they
second.
weren't against us.
I
We
put
made
my
sure they
sword
weren't
down
against us,
for a
and then they went.
reason.
Right,
They
let's just
I
go.
think, shall we
Let's
just
We're
take
good.
this opportunity to at least try and put some distance between us and mysterious forest child?
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I agree.
right.
I agree.
I'm still against killing children, so
Yeah,
I don't enjoy it.
as annoying as teenagers are.
I don't enjoy
no.
it.
that makes me think that you've killed kids before, Alister.
Okay,
If that's the
let's-
case, please stay so far away from me.
Let's just keep going.
I'm definitely
just
holding
met.
Sam like away from Alister as well. It's like, yeah, just keep you away from the kids.
All right,
There's,
all
there's an
right.
objective, and there's a target, and that's where we're at.
Let's focus our energy against the target.
Sure.
Not.
Absolutely fine by me.
I didn't save your life for you to go around stabbing children.
Okay, everyone, for the ground rules of this particular chariot and this particular carriage, no
I'll
child
drive.
murder, and no magic in the carriage. Thank you very much. Let's please not kick down the doors again. It takes ages to get the lock sorted, and
The
it's so
exits are here.
expensive. I'm
Sorry, I have
less
I do
man.
apologise. I just have a lot of pent up rage. I'm sorry, Sybil. I will not do it again. I promise. I'm sorry.
Giving me high blood pressure. Right, come on then. Let's go before the guard patrol show up.
Do you want me to drive for you, Sybil? You were in that blizzard. You were in that storm all night. I can take over if you want.
Please do. Please do.
Yeah, you take a break, mate.
Oh man, everyone, we're all gonna die.
You go get some sleep. I'll drive.
Gonna
Yeah.
sort of slump and kind of like slowly just stretch myself towards the carriage, just mumbling like, "Oh, are we gonna make it the night? I don't know. I don't know."
What's that
Gonna
robot
be
from
blooded.
Hitchhiker's Guide?
Marvin.
Marvin,
There
the
you
paranoid
go.
android,
Android.
Yeah.
brain the size of a planet.
Just as Sybil gets into the carriage, I kind of just like throw a blanket around him and just give him a little pat on the head.
Oh.
As a pat, I'm gonna kind of shrink my head away, like, and smile and kind of go. Thanks.
I will say I'll also get into the carriage as well, but I'll get him. I'll go in with Sam this time, and because if Jack's driving, then Sam's going to need someone to sit with him. So I'll now resume my mother duties, which I've been neglecting for like 2 weeks. So
Absolutely fine. So if I can just get some clarity on who is driving.
There's me.
Okay. And as you know, you can only fit 4 people inside the caravan.
So
I'm outside,
2
I'm
up
definitely
front.
outside. I don't think Edlynnne would want me inside the carriage at this point.
Come up front with me, why don't you?
Does that include the kid?
The kid can always fit inside given
Cool.
reasonable
Then
circumstances.
I might go inside because I'm suffering a point of fatigue, so I'm probably a bit tired.
A wee bit. With that, you will kind of clamber into the carriage, closing the doors as best you can, and kind of again looking at the fact that the windows don't exist, so there's cool air, the warmth is still spreading from outside into the interior, kind of being slightly offset by that slightly kind of cooled portion at the back. Reins in hand at that point, Jack, you start to lead the horses out and back towards the main road. Can I get you to make a coordination vehicles check, please? Just difficulty 1.
But could I use survival with a focus in animal handling instead?
Yes, you can.
We'll do that then. Right, coordination. One success, more complication.
Ooh.
Oh, Jago. Okay.
If we lose a horse, I'm going to be very upset.
If you
We die, it's your
Ronald
fault.
Garrett. Don't break my carriage.
Sybil will actually start murdering us if we do one more thing wrong. I'm
You
sure
have
of it.
tested my patience on this adventure, young man.
I'm trying.
We'll
Okay.
turn this whole thing right around.
Just because you're licensed doesn't mean you can take it out and just do willy-nilly Grand Theft Auto 5.
So as we deducted, Sybil is actually the father of the whole group, and he's very disappointed with all of us right now.
I'm
You want to grow up and achieve your full potential, okay?
Maybe if I had my new cool dice, which you can buy at Modiphius, I could get good rolls.
Complicated.
I'll take my check. I'll take my check from Modiphius. I'll take my check.
With that,
We sold out on episode 3.
dice are in the post. That's the check. That's what you're.
Yeah, that's your payment.
Yeah, okay.
With that, you begin to slowly roll off, make your way out of the woods, and navigate your way back towards the main road. It takes a good few minutes, 10, 15, 20 or so, before finally your carriage does roll off of the mud and ill-fitting ground back onto the cobblestone road that's been laid out, running through most of the country. The day is still quite young, warm, and the sun still hangs fairly low in the distance. And you can see, just from your position as you start rolling down, large forest lands off to your north that you've just left, kind of spreading out towards a large manor estate that sprawls outwards. The road you take, it doesn't take you too long to start seeing kind of waypoints and signs pointing in every which way, most of them pointing south towards Southhead, the nearby port town. Just kind of watching the horizon, eventually you even see off in the far distance the spire of Faith, proudly pointing out from the center of the country, and always acting as that strong kind of central point of guidance for everyone. Easy waypoint for everyone to follow. One sign you ride past points out Southhead to be maybe a day's ride still.
How are we looking on the schedule? What? Because
The question you ask is you're kind of rumbling along the carriage slowly.
Because we got. Does anyone
You
know
do
how
have a
long?
little slider just behind you that you can kind of bring
Yeah,
open just to poke your head down inside.
Just open that. So we're heading to Southhead to get these vaccinations on a boat. How long was it till? What time period have we still got? What frame? What are we working with?
I have lost all sense of time. The vaccines are still good.
Well, that's good, but that wasn't the question.
No, that's fine.
The only
Let me-
answer you're getting.
Okay, great, cool.
Let me check 1 second. I will have.
What?
Thank you.
Vaccine? What the fuck's vaccine?
What?
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
that thing.
Yeah.
We've
We
got
got
a bit
roped
of
in.
Have we got
Side
another
hustle.
side objective?
We got a side. Yeah, we got a side quest.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And you guys give me jip for keeping on target. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna.
No. Don't compare killing a child to giving someone a vaccine to save them.
We've had a
assuming
we've
we're
had a
saving them,
stressful
right?
journey. Okay,
Alright,
we're allowed.
Everybody's
I-
irritable. Everybody's irritable. Let's keep it together, folks. Come on.
The vaccine, is it saving people? I'm guessing
Yeah.
so.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And where are we going?
We're going to Southhead. To
Southhurst.
that's Southhead. Thank you.
Yep.
To get them on a boat, which will then take them to the island in the lake, which I've forgotten the name of, and they'll be distributing them, and then it's no longer our problem.
Right. Any other side objectives?
Yeah.
No, that's the only thing.
Well,
That's
we're
it.
on it.
Ju-
What are the-
This is why we have the carriage. It
Yeah,
was
the
kind of
reason.
a.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
There's
Right.
kind of
That
a-
makes
yeah.
sense.
We need a
It's
carriage.
packaged in.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
If
And
you're
these are
ready.
definitely saving people.
This
Yes.
is as far
Yeah.
as we've been told. Yes.
Okay.
Fine by me. How long are we until there? How long
We're
will it
about a
take?
day. We're about a day out from Southhurt, and then I think it's about half a day on the lake to get there. And I know this thing's on a this thing's time sensitive as is. So I'm
Right.
just trying to map up how long we've got and how long we got to go, because we might
The
have
vaccine is still okay at the moment.
Wait, have we got to
but
get on the boat, or are we just handing them to the boat
No, we
captain?
need
I think we're just
Oh.
on the
landing.
boat.
we got to get on the boat. as
We
far
got
as
to
I
get on the boat,
remember.
and we've got
Yeah.
to take it.
Tell me then.
I don't
We've
really
got-
want to get kind of ill. Do we
That's
have
fine because
vaccine?
we've
We've
only got
got-
enough
Yeah.
vaccine for 5 people.
Yeah.
So
We've got
yeah.
5 of us, which we can immunize ourselves. Then,
We've got the kid though.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
So-
one of them's reserved for mine.
That-
Can
No,
Mine can go
fi-
to them as
Five,
far as
five
I'm
people
concerned.
and the child.
5 people and the
Right,
child.
so
Okay.
we're okay then.
I've just
Well,
been flipping
that
furiously
means
through my
that-
notebook, like trying to
Okay,
find
let
out
me,
where I wrote
let me
this
just see.
down.
Let me just see if I've got this straight. We've got vaccine that we're delivering. We need to deliver this vaccine to people,
Yes.
Yeah.
but in the process of going there, we might get whatever it is the vaccine is against, and
We've
therefore we
got-
need to
we've
use the
got-
vaccine
Yeah.
There's enough- there's enough
vaccine
in there for,
vials
like, us to
reserved
take
for
some.
us.
for us, reserved for us. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes,
so
we've got
we're
5
using the
reserved for
vaccine
us.
and then we're delivering. Okay. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
6.
Extra.
6.
but
One's reserved
one's
for
a
the child.
child dose.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what?
okay.
So one of us is going to have to
Right.
skip out.
Okay.
Well, as long as we can do this quick,
Yeah.
get it there, and then get back on
Yeah.
the main.
Yeah, exactly.
Objective.
We are trying to fling this at them as quickly as possible. Hell, I'm honestly, I wanted to mention this. Do we try and just make it out that we were told we only had to give it to them, and then that's not our problem?
I think we have payment waiting for us on the actual island, though, and we kind of
So
need
we're
the
being
No.
paid
we
as
need
well?
we need the
Hang on.
gold.
No,
we need
hang
to,
on.
we need to give
have-
the vaccine to a gentleman called Raphael Montague. Can't read.
Raphael Montague.
Yes,
I think.
he is the head of the main family on the island. He is a gentleman that we need to pass the vaccines to. In Southhurst, there is a gentleman called Laurent Cragsey, who is our ferryman, who we need to meet up with. And I believe he is giving us the rest of our payment, which is being sent from Jacob Ulysses, who is the alchemist who originally gave us this assignment. But other than Mr. Montague, we are not to interact with anyone else on the island. So we get to Southhurst, we meet up with Mr. Ferryman, we get on the boat, we go to the island, we give the vaccines to Matey Boy, we come back, and then we can just continue.
Sure.
I hope.
Okay. Yes.
Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make sure.
You know where it is, right? You know
Oh,
where
yeah.
you're going.
Sign Point Road. Let's go.
Cool.
Let's,
Right?
Yeah. That's.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful. Kind of after
Yeah.
you roll that, you continue down the road a little bit longer. As you kind of dip into the afternoon, you pass a few buildings as you go. A couple of other distinctive landmarks. At one point, you see a small village popped off in the north. Not one of any relevance to yourself or your journey, so you just kind of happily ride past. A little while long later, you pass a long series of rivers that just pass over the water. Or pass across the land, even, sorry. And you see a small farm just kind of lingering off on the edge there. The field's oddly empty, worryingly barren, considering the area you're in. But you just kind of ride straight on past it. At one point, you start to close towards a bridge. And just on the far side of the bridge, you can see a small building, a hut maybe no larger than for 3 or 4 people. And on the far side of that bridge, you can see a couple of carriages, or at least a single carriage is stopped on the bridge, a few people on kind of horseback waiting behind, and directly next to them you can see a man dressed in the uniform of the Roads Guard. And hanging from that hut, make out a small banner just kind of gently moving in the low wind, bearing the symbol of the Wardens of Chalice, the highest security force in the country. As you slowly kind of make your way towards it, you see someone just on the bridge, one of the guards, hold up their hand. Hold there! Checkpoint!
Stop.
Get your papers
Stop.
out! Papers! He says as he starts to just walk towards you.
Oh, fuck. Okay, I'll go round the back and do that, which I totally can legitimately do.
You have no papers.
Yeah, I know.
Fake it till you make
I was
it.
going to ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
if
shit.
I can always swap places with Jago because I have
Yeah, that's what I was
various
thinking.
amounts of paperwork on me.
Can I like try to
Was
hide
that-
in the freezer? Because
Well, it's at this point that, as you
Untethered.
quickly, Jack and Alister will be the first to react. You watch that single guardsman just kind of step over the bridge, passing by the carriage that's already there, and the two men on horseback, and just stop, turn to the men on horseback and start talking with them. He kind of just glances back over at you, just points, gestures at the kind of your side of the bridge. Wait there! And continues to talk to the others, taking a small small couple of sheets of paper off of them and just very cautiously reading through them and just turning his head back up to them and chatting. As you kind of roll into place, you just see his eye click back up at the two of you as the horses come to a stop, and his eyes just fall on you for a moment longer than you'd appreciate, Jago. And you just see a small glint.
As soon as I've stopped,
Recognition in his eye.
I've gotten off the cart and my back is. I know, fuck you. That's a bullshit. I call bullshit. Fuck you. No.
I'm sorry, I wasn't the one who put the wanted man on the front of the carriage.
I didn't think that was ever going to end well.
Well, you know, I didn't hear anybody
As-
saying to the contradictory.
If you think about it,
As
all,
you kind of-
most of us are wanted, so it wouldn't have worked anyway.
As he matches your eye, just as the horse is coming into place, you immediately just hop off before he can kind of linger any longer and start making your way around the back, knocking on the door as you pass it, and just kind of waking up the few who are dozing inside.
Up.
He's
You got a
just gone
massive.
to get the papers. We've got them all inside. Officer trying to pull attention away from him onto me, but
He's not paying any attention to you at the moment. The moment Jack moves, he just kind of throws his eyes to the heaven and goes back to the people he's actually talking to. You've got a moment, maybe a couple of minutes before he ushers them on as the carriage before them starts to begin to roll, and the horsemen just naturally make their way across the bridge, and he follows with them, handing a piece of paper back, and still scanning the second.
Sybil, you've got similar length hair to me. You need to get up on front and pretend to be me.
For you.
Yeah.
he's going to
There's
know the
check-
difference. Have we got a?
There's a
Have we got
checkpoint.
anybody who's not on the? Is it Sybil who's not on the poster?
How far away are we? I did just
Young Sybil's on the poster.
Yeah.
young Sybil's on the poster.
I don't
like-
mind going.
Jules is not on the poster.
Right.
Okay.
I'll step out.
I'll say you have
Uh,
enough time before he notices you. Over the next 10 minutes when we take a break.
Eh.
Motherfucker!
Why?
I have a plan.
You evil boy. You evil boy.
Stabbing people is not allowed, so I'm not gonna do that.
We're trying not to do that. We're doing our best.
But my
haven't
plans
stabbed
always
anybody.
avoid the not kill people route. So at least let's try that first.
Yeah. Oh boy.
We can't kill people every time shit hits.
Hello and welcome back to Chalice Twilight Roads. Last we left everyone, they were very urgently trying to think of a solution to the current problem they find themselves facing. As I last mentioned, we have Jack having just stopped next to the carriage door, head poked in through the kind of gap where a window should be, and chatting to everyone inside as Alister just brings the horses up to rest at the base of the bridge. The road watchman finishing up with the two in front of you, just slowly rifling through their papers. And at this point, Alister, you can see quite clearly, just over the tip of the bridge, on the far side, next to this small building, the hut marked with the warden's insignia, about 3 more guards. Each is casually watching as the carriage cut before you takes off, heading further towards Southhurt, which you can now see just over in the distance. The far walls, a good day or so ride away, but with the long flat plains of Dowry, not causing too much obstruction between you and there. It's over to you guys. You have an action each. Please fire away.
Oh god.
First and foremost, would it be possible to use my disguise kit to try and make Jago's face look a little bit less like Jago's face? Jack's face, sorry.
You can, but it will be a hurriedly, very rapidly applied disguise.
Better than nothing?
Glasses with nose and mustache.
If you want, it depends on kind of what level of disguise you're looking for. What are you trying to achieve?
Well, I'm not going to necessarily bother about clothing or body. That's fine. And from what I can gather, at least, the guard didn't recognize him, not immediately. So I don't need to make him look completely alien. I just need to make him look a little bit different to what he should look like, so that the guard methinks, oh, that guy looks similar to that poster, but not quite. The more I try and morph it, the more it's going to look fake. So I'm finding that sweet spot between obviously applied makeup and this guy looks a little bit off.
Okay, that's doable. Due to the situation you're in, it will still be difficulty free.
Okay.
I have momentum, so
you kind of swing the door open, allowing Jack to make his way in, very quickly pulling out your disguise kit and setting to work. Obviously, you're now in a very, very cramped condition.
I was going to say, as Jack comes in, I would like to leave and kind of sit on the front and know the kind of... I'm used to this, so plumping up everything in the right place and looking very damsel in distress, just sitting there. Also, I'm still kind of wearing my clothes that are a little bit damp. And it is also a barmaid, so it's a white shirt. Hoping that might help.
Subtle.
The problem is I'm not trying to be.
I know.
I want to be very obvious.
Mount up in place and just twist to see Alister as you kind of adjust yourself appropriately.
There.
You carry on. I'm sure it's for... Can I ask a question about the guard?
Yes.
For a point of momentum. That's
Yes.
a point, right? Just once.
Yeah, just one.
As Jules gets up onto the carriage and there's the two of us, do I get the vibe he's looking more at Jules, or do I get the vibe he's looking more at me? And you know what I mean by looking more at. Please be Jules. Please be Jules. So much better equipped for it than I am.
You kind of sit there, glance over at her, glance back onto the road, as you see him just kind of send off the horses as they start trundling off. Still there in his kind of blue uniform, very, very poorly equipped, kind of buttons hanging loosely open. He glances back at each of you. Do both of you have access to a D12?
Yeah.
Yes.
is going on? I am.
Can you roll?
Scared.
Can you roll those for me, please? And if you go over your will, so your will score, ignore them. Otherwise, tell me the results.
Is this a how
I'm
sexy?
trying to find a D12.
How sexy does
in my dice bag. Hold on.
How does the guy
I
I
basically
think
is
I've
this,
got one.
does the guard find Alister or Jules sexier?
Rolling for
Sex
sexual
appeal
orientation.
Yeah.
This is officially a sex appeal roll.
Okay, do I have to be below
Roll
or
for sex
above?
appeal.
Because
You want to roll below?
Okay, I rolled a
Roll.
6.
Roll for sex appeal.
I rolled a 4.
You
Yes.
kind of watch him
I am here for
glance
this.
over at Jules as she finishes adjusting back to the guard as he just looks over at the two of you and just quietly unbuttons another portion of his shirt. Just enough to just get his chest hair poking out a little bit as his eyes just fall on you as he starts walking back towards you all both.
He falls on. This is sorry. Falls
Wait,
on
wait, it
you.
falls-
On you,
On me?
Alister.
She's right there. She's gorgeous. Look at her.
Oh, yeah, interested.
I will
At least
button
be
up.
by. Come on.
I'll button up on purpose then.
That's an action for. We'll claim yours as well there, Jack, obviously, as you go in.
Yeah, I'm
Jack.
going in.
Sybil, Jules, that doesn't count as an action for Alister, so can I get an action still for Edlynnne, Cecily, and Alister, please?
I was just gonna say, Look, I know for a fact that if people look at me, they're still gonna know it's me because of the wanted poster. Because we know the silverness isn't gonna cover that up, and I kind of don't want to deform my face any more than it already is. So I am just gonna pick up the kid. I do have at this point. I do have like my armor back on and stuff, right? I did like get his back on. I'm assuming.
Are you wanting to put your armor back on?
I'm hoping that I will. I didn't say it, but like, yeah, I would like to put my armor back on. But I also like to make sure the kids. I also want to make sure I'm hiding, so I wasn't gonna like pick up the kid in the armor and just go into the refrigerator thing and just hopefully hiding in there.
Okay. You kind of readjusting your armor, you grab Sam, and the two of you just make your way into the refrigerator, closing the door behind you and just kind of buckling in. It's a very small room, obviously. There's a reason that Cecily has normally always been in there by herself. Bismarck also has been, up until this point, just resting in front of the door. So you kind of have to push him out of the way to get inside.
Sorry, Bismarck. I'll give you treats later. I'm sorry, I'll give him treats later, I promise.
Okay.
You make your way in, just close the door behind you and wait. Cecily and Alister, please.
I'm going to get the slightly soggy contract out of my pocket and open up the slider and sort of just like hit Alister and go, this might help in this situation. It's a bit of a cover, but I want it back afterwards, and just give him the paperwork that relates to the contract that we have to deliver this vaccine, just to help us with a bit of cover.
Mm-hmm. Easy on. You just pass those through the gap. Alister?
Take that. Quickly skim it. So I've got an idea of what it says, like the ins and outs, how many people, and some vague names of the aliases. And then be ready for the guard. Cough slightly and carry on.
Cool. If you can do me a very quick reason observation check, then please. Every success you get will get you another fact from the form before he reaches you.
Can I also help? Because I would want to know a little bit as well.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
I got 1.
I also got 1.
Okay. You skim by, just read through the names very rapidly, not managing to get much further. Besides understanding that the carriage has been essentially equipped to carry volatile alchemical substances with the intent of using them to provide a vaccine to the Mentgoin Island, that is being carried by at least 4 people, 4 people who distinctly give their names as Grigori Vilcanetti, Martha Weiss, William Jaeger, and Luisa Medincia.
I'll be Louisa Mendincia. You choose one.
You're Louisa. Okay. I'm gonna have the others be the others rather than me. I'll make something up on the fly. Because if they've only got 4, then they'll have to be others. So, sure.
As you kind of finish skimming that, the guard makes his way across the edge of the bridge and just kind of waves you up, bringing you slowly up the bridge and towards the kind of barricade they've laid out on the other side. Just a very, very small series of boxes and a plank that they just kind of lower and raise out of the way. As you kind of roll towards, he just puts his hand up. Hold there! Sorry for the disruption, gentlemen, and, well, ma'am.
Don't worry.
But he just kind of glances at, how many are with you?
Well, look right here, the contract. You can look at our papers. That'll help.
Make a will persuasion check, please, there. Difficulty 1.
Am I...
Momentum is there. There is full
Okay,
momentum
I
if
have-
you feel you need it.
I have charm.
Yeah, that will help.
Okay. Yeah, I'll also take momentum as well. That's okay.
Right,
One
we're down to 3.
Good. So... Okay.
Where's the 3? There it is.
Okay. So, we got good news and we got bad news.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
I'm not enjoying this.
Oh no.
We got a 1 and a 2, which is really
Okay.
good.
That's 2
Nice.
crits. as
But
far
because I've got
Yeah.
charm, that is 2 like crits.
Yeah.
I have also got a 20 though.
Ooh.
It evens out. Well,
But,
it's
like-
better than even out.
You know?
But I
Because
got
it's
2
two
crits though. 2
Exactly,
crits.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You generally-
like,
Just slip off the carriage and fall on the guard.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Successfully.
Just happened to fall on top of you.
Or you failed, successfully failed. No.
Generate
Successfully. Just
2 momentum.
Successfully failed successfully.
So we're up to 5.
He just reaches up and takes the papers from you. So 4 of you?
Well, no, there's 6 of us. It's myself and my sister, and
That's
Yeah.
right.
yeah,
That's 2 of you?
and then some passengers we picked up along the way, you know, for coin. Things hard all around at the moment, you know.
So you're escorting them? This is your carriage?
Right, it is.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy.
And you have your papers?
Well, it says it right there.
It says on the thing. I'm Louisa,
So this
by
is
the
your
way.
carriage.
I'm Louisa. Yeah.
So this is your carriage, so you pick these people up and you're just transporting them?
Well, it's so hard to explain. It's quite a kerfuffle. Right. Think of it as this. In that right. So,
Yeah.
you know it. Right. So, we're just moving this cart along. It goes with also the vaccines and stuff. You know that it's quite volatile stuff. We keep it in quite a safe area if we can.
We got big heart. We gonna help people. We gonna help people.
You know it, hun.
We gonna help people. That's what we're here for. You wouldn't stop us doing that. No, you wouldn't stop us.
No, this lovely boy right here wouldn't do a thing.
wouldn't
Look
do
at
it like
him.
that,
He's
would he?
so
No.
cute.
Big strapping man like that, he lets through. You can see he's got a big heart on him.
Big heart.
Big heart.
It blushes a little bit. Oh, it was, thank you. No, of course. And do you have papers for the travellers? Your name? Sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir.
Oh, I'm Lewis and Louisa.
It's quite easy. If you just forget
easy.
one name, it's like learning the other one.
So it is. He just kind of folds the paper back up and goes to pass it back to you. I just need names and the such for everyone you're carrying with you, where you're heading, and of course your cargo said vaccines. Vaccines.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where's that heading?
Oh, just down to port. It was down to the port, was it not?
Oh, it was
It was down.
down
We
port.
get confused
just
sometimes,
pop-
but down to
Ye-
port.
Yeah, You know that area, right? Like just outside there's like that.
Oh, yeah,
field
of course
kind of
I do,
area.
of course I do.
We're just helping them out.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Just give me one moment. He says as he just starts making his way along the edge of the carriage towards the kind of side door. As at that point, I just need Subil. Can you make that disguise check for me, please?
Come on, man. Don't fuck me here.
We're going to call this coordination stealth. As I said, difficulty 3.
No.
How many momentum?
There's five momentum. Please take something.
Okay, so my target's 14. I need 3 successes. How much momentum should I take?
5. You could take 3 momentum to get 2 extra dice. I'd say.
3 momentum. I think that's
Yeah,
right.
do it. Get 2 extra
extra?
dice. Yeah, 2 extra. This shit's important.
Okay, so I'm rolling 5 dice.
5 dice
No.
in total.
No,
No,
why, no 4.
No, 4. It's 3
4
momentum,
dice.
2 dice.
4 dice. I'm stupid. Yeah, 4 dice.
4 dice.
4 dice.
Here we go. shall I point my camera down?
No.
No.
Just
Give us
say
the
the thing.
reaction in your face. I want to see
Yeah,
it.
just reaction. I wanna see how this goes. Oh boy.
Right. First pair. I'll do them in 2. First pair.
Oh god.
That's 2 successes.
Right.
Nice.
Just need one.
12 and a 2.
One more.
Okay.
One more.
Here we go. Second pair.
Don't you fuck me.
That's 2
Don't
fails.
you fucked me. You fucked me.
Jago could help, of course. He is.
Can I
Jago could
assist? Can
help.
I could assist, right?
I'm going to say
Sitting
no.
very still.
What if I just grab a knife and cut my own hair like Mulan? What if I Mulan this shit?
I've already done that trick. You can't do what I've done.
Fuck you, I'm taking it. I'll take anything I can get.
No, I've already
You've
done it.
already
I've already
got
done.
very short hair, Jago.
I've already done the Mulan trick.
As you kind of come around, as he comes around the corner, you hear this conversation just dying off. You finish your last couple of touches, and Jack, you very hurriedly kind of slam yourself down into the seat.
I put my hand over my face as if I'm sleeping. I don't know. Anything, just something to obscure it.
As the figure of the road watchman just kind of comes up to the side. Afternoon, all. He just kind of places one arm through the window and just kind of glances around at it. Someone break your windows on the way in?
Rough storm the other night. Did you get it here?
Mhm.
We had branches everywhere while we were trying to set up camp.
Everyone got it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, hopefully this was the worst of it. The rest of the carriage seems to be intact. He says, and he just
Don't know how much
as
more
he
it can
is-
take.
hopefully the weather will clear. I'm just doing a quick check past everyone who comes down towards Southhurt. As you know, there's some unsavory types about.
No,
I just need everyone's papers, please. He says as he kind of just makes his eyes just pass around the interior of the carriage. And he just kind of looks over Edlynnne, Subil.
Hang on, isn't Edlynnne hiding?
Yeah, I said I
Oh,
was
sorry, no, I
hiding.
do apologise. My mistake.
It's got
Thank
X-ray
you very
vision.
much. No, thank you.
You can see through doors. It's
Oh,
the
that's
woman
good.
with
That
the armor.
conversation, guys, is that
You're a
conversation.
channeler.
And he's kind of just glances his eyes around over Cecily, past you, over to, of course, Subil, and landing once again on Jack. And you just see his eyes narrow. I'll start with you. Can I see your papers?
Should be on the contract. William Jaeger.
Yeah, there's a contract and there's your identification.
All right, hang on 2 minutes. I'll just go into the bag and try and make an act of me looking for shit that isn't there, but trying to bullshit it.
Make a will stealth check for me.
Okay.
Up to difficulty 2, as he kind of partially watches you, and then his eyes just trail over to Subil.
Difficulty 2, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm spending a momentum. Fuck what you say.
Fine.
Oh god. Okay, that's 13, you know, it's not. It's one of my better things, I guess. 3 successes.
You kind of just rummage around for a bit.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Oh, you've got to be shitting me. Where the fuck is it? I'm just all of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just kind of. Have you not got your papers with you?
Should be right fucking here.
Well, you got a minute. And the others.
Yeah, hang on.
Ma'am, sir.
My name is on the contract up the front, but alas, my papers were stolen when I left my other coat hanging up in a bar.
Oh. Make a will persuasion check, difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. Will, yep. How many momentum do we have?
1.
Oh, damn it.
Oh wait, no, we have 2 because because it was so we have 2.
I don't have any persuasion.
Do you want momentum to buy dice? Well,
Do it.
yeah, do it.
May I have
Take
a
momentum, buy the
May I have-
dice. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
1 dice. Okay. Be good to me. Oops, no, I dropped that one. Thank you. 2 successes.
Okay.
Oh,
Living.
No. Yeah, I heard about something.
and an 18. That was so good.
He kind of looks at you and just places his head in his hand slightly as he leans back out of the carriage window. You've come from up north, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we heard something about some... Was it a bar not too far up?
Yeah, not far from here.
Yeah, we heard something. Some people rode through, apparently killed a couple of men.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully. Sounds like you got out before then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's something. I imagine if they've got one of you, they've probably got the rest, he says, gesturing down at Jack.
I can't find this shit anywhere, mate. I'm sorry.
All right, it's fine. And you, sir? He says, just poking his eyes over at Subil.
Oh, my friends. Yeah, sorry, I'm not with these folks. I'm just traveling around while saying. So I'm just traveling into town. I'm an entertainer. I don't tend to carry documents. I travel paycheck to paycheck. It's not always that easy when you're traveling road to road. You know how it is.
Yeah,
I've
you
got a
should probably
cousin in
correct
town
that.
that's going to help me out when we get in. But I haven't been a
Right.
chance to in a while.
Make sure you do. Check
course,
out the walking
of course.
offices, they'll sort you out. Right, he kind of leans back and makes his way back over to the front, just kind of slapping his hand on the door as he goes, making his way back up to Louisa and Lewis.
Hi there. How'd it go?
Hi, you're carrying some... Yeah.
I told you they're odd ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
To say the least. You're going to need to... He just gestures out towards the horizon where you can just make out Southside. I assume you're heading there. Once you arrive, head to the warden offices, get every single one of these people checked over.
Right.
Make sure they do not leave that town without their ID.
You got it.
Dangerous times. At the moment, it's just going to take one person to take the wrong look at you, and, well, assumptions are going to be made.
Right. Well, thank you.
We wouldn't want that. We better do that, sister. Yep.
You're right, brother. So we'll see you later.
Well,
Bye, hun.
hold up a second.
Oh, right.
Look, I hate to do this to you. You seem like nice people. But traveling without, well, anything, it does come with a fee.
Oh, you naughty
What?
dog. Alister. Oh, my God. Louis, Alister, you silly sausage. Oh, no. You. I think you got a Meyer here.
Oh,
You, sonny boy. You want his... Give you our address
does.
if you like, boy.
Oh,
I gotta advise you, he's a snorer, aren't you, hun?
oh, Louise
Snores
Alice,
the
you
best.
know it, Louise Alice. I am.
You know
Can
it.
you do me a will persuasion check?
Which one of us?
With
I don't know.
Both.
I like how
You can
Max.
lead
I like how you instantly just went,
Alister.
yeah, there you go, have a night. And I'm like, money? We could money? Anything for the cause.
October bright red.
Please.
Anything for the cause.
It's gonna be difficult to
He
do.
didn't say anything for the cause. That's 2 passes. That's 2 passes.
You were
Wonderful.
assisting Lewis Allison.
He just kind of immediately that small blush you pulled from him earlier just blossoms across his features and he just goes red. Immediately just goes,
I rip a bit of the paper off and I write down a random address. I write down a random address that I know, like far, far away,
yeah.
and I give it to him.
We really care. We really care about doing good. Like
We do.
we care.
And we see you have a big heart, and we like you.
So big.
He just kind of doesn't really know what to do, but he takes the paper from you.
Right, see you later there, hun.
Thanks,
I
guys.
just got. I stop pulling it away. I'm leaving
Start
him.
moving.
I'm leaving him.
As you kind of start cresting the bridge and coming to the other side, you just hear, I'll write the letter then.
Oh.
Bye.
Oh, he's gonna be absolutely heartbroken.
Damn, you breaking hearts.
Oh damn, you despicable human, you.
Wait, did you call me Louise Alice? I
Yes.
just clicked that.
You just,
Yeah, because he was
you just
saying
get
like
it.
Lewis Alister,
Yeah,
so it's like
That's Louise
Yeah.
Allen.
Yeah.
As you kind of crest over and start rolling down towards the little barricade, you see they go to lift it for you. And just as they do, you just kind of glance over to the side and you can see leaning on, just out of the hut on a little, just on a small kind of window, is a man dressed almost entirely in black with this white lining on his outfit. Just kind of watching as you ride past, another one of those symbols of the Wardens hanging around his neck. You go to reach the barricade and they start to pull it up, and he just the 2 road watchmen holding the barricade glance over at him, and he just puts his hand up to stop.
Right, I've heard this one before. It's the vaccines. It's every time. It's every time, isn't it? Isn't it right?
Every time, LA.
Every time. Every
Yep.
time. Look here. Here's the papers. We've dealt with you guys before. You're usually quite nice.
He just picks himself up, just hold 1 minute for me.
Right, you are.
Disappears back into the window, into the small hut. A few moments pass, and you're just kind of held there. The 2 that were watching the barricade just place it back down, kind of glancing off to the door, off towards the hut, at each other and at you. There's very clear apprehension on their features. A couple of minutes pass, and you're just left there. You can hear behind you another horseman's arrived, and the road watchman is talking to them now. And the air just holds a couple more minutes, and finally the door swings open, and the warden walks out, just pulling gloves over his hands. Snorts deep and just spits on the floor as he walks his way over to you.
This may be one for you, Louise Alice. I'm just saying.
Right, you are unbuttoned. Watch the master at work here, hun.
Well, always happy to.
Sweet home Alabama.
He glances, makes his way over, just very casually, kind of boots crushing the grass with every step. finishes kind of pulling his gloves up, wipes them clean, and just hitches his thumbs into his belt as he walks just a good 5 feet away from you, standing still in the grass as your wheels are resting on the road.
Am I able to quickly open up the hatch and let them know that that guy's coming?
Yes, of course you can.
Okay.
Afternoon.
Hi there, hon. How you doing?
Hey, y'all.
It happens every time. They have the vaccine. I'm guessing you have that weird rock thing, right, that glows? I'm not so smart myself. All I know is as I lean over, I'm gonna kind of show the signatures.
Yeah, holding the paper
words
right
and
here,
just right next to my breast, and I'm just going, I'm not clever here, hun, but I know something to do with this some rock thing. I've been warned about it. But I'll just I bet you we walk around and it'll glow a little bit right near the back, because that's where we stuff all the code stuff, you know? Mm-hmm. And then I'll stroke his face slightly. Isn't that right, hun?
Can you make a will persuasion check, please? This is.
Can I have momentum as well, please? Do
we only have one.
I'm gonna have to take it.
Go for it.
Do it.
Okay. Okay. That is 5 successes, technically.
What?
Nice!
You sexy
I
motherfucker.
got a 2, a 3, and 11.
You sexy boy. Or lady. In which context we want to talk.
Do everything. And as you kind of take your hand from his face, his eyes, having never actually left yours, as you've spoken to him.
Are you sure eyes?
Yeah. I'm sure it would. As you kind of lean back, as you know, alchemy, well, hopefully you know, there's nothing distinctly magic about alchemy.
But it smells bad.
I'm sure it does.
Sparkles.
I'm just going to need you to ask all of your passengers to step outside for a moment.
Fuck.
That seems fair.
And the two of you get off.
Yeah. Hold your horses, hun. I'm gonna turn my backside and fully show it in his face as I'm getting down there.
Solid.
Oh fuck.
So again, he just kind of, as you do so, he just twists his attention back down to the floor, doing everything in his power to just burrow through the earth with his eyes.
Oh fuck. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna get down after her, showing my backside as I go all the way down as well.
It worked on the last guy.
Let's cover all the bases. Let's do this.
You gotta be sure.
Dream team right here.
Yeah. And I'm a miner, or I was a miner, so that thing is tight. Let's put it that way.
Toit.
Like a toiga.
Oh god.
You both lower yourselves down as seductively as humanly possible. And he just kind of takes a step back from you, breathes very deeply, and reaches into a pouch on his side, pulling out a long pipe. And just kind of see him as he's waiting for you.
Starts I think the same thing.
Yeah. Starts to tap tobacco into it. Do you mind getting the others out?
Right, you are. As I do, I'll, instead of opening the door that he's on, I'll open the other side, and then as they come out, ask them to go as far as away from the truck, except for the kid and
Edlynnne and the kid are still hiding in the rear compartment.
I might have made a massive mistake hiding in there.
I'm keeping them in there just so it does go off being it's where the vaccines are, it's where it's cooled.
and I can say, please do not go in there because they're incredibly volatile.
If you keep the dog, if you keep your dog in front of the door, then he can just like growl.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make. I will stand with my back pressed against that fucking thing. It was just pressed like from the outside, but pressed against where the fridge would be, trying to like feel the cold. It's like, no, I'm good. Fuck yeah, I'm good.
Each of you step out, make your way around, and just kind of stand near on the other side of the carriage. As you do, you just feel the horses behind you, or more precisely from the horseback rider behind you, is just kind of urged around you. To the point where they pass between your eyes and that of the warden. The barricade is lifted and they're allowed to pass through. And he just stands there waiting for you to all line up, and even after you've all kind of gathered there, he just takes a match, slowly lights his pipe and takes a few puffs, watching each of you. And again, another minute or so passes. It just holds you there. Eventually just taking a deep inhale, letting the smoke whisk from his lips. So, names?
Louisa and Louis. My brother Rick. They're kind of the drivers and whatnot of this thing.
Last name?
Louisa. So, sorry, not Louise. My first name. Isn't that right, Louis?
Getting confused. Yeah, she gets confused.
I mean, Medicia. Louise Medicia.
Thank you. And he just kind of, still puffing away, turns to look over at Cecily. Same question.
Martha Weiss.
And just eyes again, pass over to Jack.
William Jago.
And Subil.
Oh, Roland Thorne. Well, I mean, you know, you might know me. You see, I travel around doing all sorts of shows. You might know me by my stage name, which is the Great Gary. But, you know, I'm either the Great Gary or Roland Thorne. I'm sure you've heard of Gary. I mean, there's posters all around town, I imagine. I mean, come on.
You know what? He says as he kind of just pokes the pipe in your direction. Fairly sure I have seen at least one of you on a poster somewhere. And he takes another puff.
It'll be the Gary one. Yeah. Around. We spent extra making sure to get the nose right, you know. Oh, that was
I understood that reference.
He gestures over at the far end of the bridge. Wait here a moment.
Can I do like an insight check of seeing if his intentions are good or bad?
Also, how deep is this river, Jack?
Yeah. I can
Someone
swim.
just knock on the carriage and I'll run. Honestly, I am.
Yeah, that was a good. That was.
For the question of kind of checking his vibe, as it were, if you can do me a will observation check, please, Jules.
Quick check.
It'll be difficulty 0, just so you can generate the momentum to ask a question.
The fact that I'm not having to roll for my bullshittery worries me.
That is observation. Was that
Subil is built for bullshit.
Insight?
Yes.
Will observation.
Oh,
Will.
will observation.
My apologies. Okay, that's 2 momentum. Yeah,
So I guess the main one is his intentions for us good in the way he acts.
You don't get the impression that he's here to help you.
Oh God.
My last question is: does he know we're the people off the posters?
I think we've met him before, haven't we?
Have we met him before?
Well,
You
I
get the,
He
Was
you
he the
get the
checkpoint in
impression
Killport?
he may.
Yeah, I think so.
Pardon?
yeah, I know. It's just the fact that
People
he
putting
said,
dots together, which I'm stupid.
Seen you on a
Just the
poster
fact that he
before.
said, yeah, that I've seen one of you on a poster before is giving me not the greatest ideas.
No, we're fucked. This is
Also,
a fight.
this could be the warden that I pretend that I made to think I was mute for. Maybe. 'Cause we got stuck then.
Possibly, but you're not out in the cart, so
No,
we will
but it
never know.
No,
He
but
walks
he
off, making his way across the bridge back to the road watchman you'd spoken to earlier. They stand just at a distance, just out of earshot, and you can see the road watchman just kind of pulls out the piece of paper with the address on it, as well as his own notebook. And the warden just kind of takes both and just makes his way back over to you.
He just lost his job.
It just casually walks past each and every one of you up until the point he comes to rest in front of Alister. So where do you live?
Me?
Yeah.
But
Says as he just folds that piece of paper up in front of him.
I don't know the names of any of the places. Oh, he's talking to me.
He's talking directly to you as he folds up the piece of paper.
Perfect.
That
Because my name isn't on that
handed
piece
him.
of paper.
No,
Which
but
is
it does
perfect.
have. It does apparently have your address on it, though.
Void.
Oh, no, his. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant the piece of paper with all the names and everything.
No,
else.
no.
No. My calling card.
Your calling card.
Yeah.
I gotta shut up.
Where do I live?
Yeah.
I live all over, but that is a forwarding address. So what'll happen is send anything there.
I'm aware of how a forwarding address works.
Well, there you go then.
He just kind of folds that up, drops it, and just puts his boot over the top of it.
I'm sorry, Lewis.
Did you give him the right address, sister?
Yeah, I did give them 134 Butts Avenue.
Well, there we go. That's fine to me. That's that.
And it's now a canonical place in Chalice.
Are you right?
Two of you, he says, gesturing to Jules and Alister. I'm going to give you an opportunity. We'll just call this the one opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Call it your out.
Out of where, though?
Tell me
I've never been out before.
Know these people, as he says, just punching his finger across to the others.
Well, one is...
Who are they?
Would you say Gary the Great or Great Gary? I don't know.
To be fair, he just gave us some money to ride, so
yeah, we don't really know him.
Yeah.
And the other, well, the doctor over there, she's one with the medicine. I'm just the courier.
Medicine. Courier. Okay.
Ask the girl over there. She knows what she's doing.
He just gestures over. Martha, is it?
Yes, sir.
Who is the owner of this caravan?
Well,
Before that, he just puts his finger back over to the two of you. That contract, if I may.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just takes that from you, rifles through, and continues. Oh, please, Martha, continue. Who owns this caravan?
One moment, please. Well, originally it belonged to a gentleman named... I don't know why the southern accent's beginning to work.
Yeah.
Original.
Yours is amazing. Mine is wandering all over the south. That's all I'm saying. Carry on.
Mine travels. That's how it goes. That's what I'm
mine
up
too.
to.
Mine too, sister. Mine too.
It's all right, brother.
Originally a gentleman of the name of Jacob Ulysses, but we have managed to wangle it as part of our payment in order to deliver the vaccine down to Montague Island.
Such a nice man, giving us a caravan.
And
To help
payment.
out the need, the people in
is.
need, you know.
Sure.
People in need.
And there's just 5 of you.
Well, I don't hear.
Oh no, there's 4 of you on there.
Well,
So,
yeah, and then there's-
including.
Well, I mean, she often just calls me luggage, so.
Stop it,
And
You.
Gregory. Where's Gregory?
He's in Killport. He wished to stay
Unfortunate.
behind.
Unfortunate place to be.
It was
Well.
his decision.
I'm sure. Well, in that case, he just folds up the paper, the contract, and hands it straight back to you.
Thank
I
you.
see no point to detain any of you. Although, I do have a minor favour to ask. You see, I don't like to admit it, but I'm a bit of a budding alchemist myself.
Right.
We won't tell anyone. Don't. Oh, a budding alchemist. Oh, okay.
Slowly
sure you
puts
wouldn't
away
mind.
flask.
Yeah, I'm sure you wouldn't mind awarding a quick glance over the vaccines.
Well,
I assume they're in the carriage. He says,
Oh.
You're gonna have to.
towards the door.
my only problem is that because of the nature of the compartment that they are kept in, and as you know, tincture of Venus, along with essence of Mercury, they are incredibly volatile and they need to be kept at a very, very cool temperature. And I really do not want to be opening that compartment any more than I should be in a day. I've already had to check on it twice, and I really need them to stay fresh for when we continue on our journey.
Could save a lot of lives.
Exactly, and I'd rather not take that risk. I'm awfully
Make-
sorry.
A will persuasion check there, please,
We
Cecily.
have no momentum, and I have no persuasion.
Can I?
Do you
Can I?
have
gonna
void
die.
points you
I
can
was-
spell?
I was gonna say,
Do
can
you
I
have
help
void
as
points
well?
you can spend?
Can
Spend,
assist.
Yeah,
spend
I'll
a void
assist as
point,
well.
turn 1 dice into a crit immediately.
Yes,
That's
I have 2 void points. Okay, I'm going to have 1 crit.
Okay.
You'll get that 1 help from me.
Do you want an assist or?
Which, yeah, an assist is a 1 pass.
Okay, so I get automatically 1 crit, and come on, pretty little dice.
All right.
A
don't have to remain in-
success!
Oh,
Okay.
3 successes.
Well,
It was
3
a 7
successes,
and I rolled a 6. Oh.
and then plus the assistance, so that's 4 overall.
Four.
Ooh.
Are you happy with 4?
Oh no.
I also
Can
roll.
we-
Can we stack assists? No.
Even
we
if
haven't got
one's a
any
crit,
momentum to spend, have we?
after I spend a void point,
No, we don't have it. There's nothing more we can
there's
do.
no
We got
momentum. I had to
We
spend
have
a
to be
void
happy
point to
with
get a
four.
crit.
We have
Yeah.
to be, unless
You
yeah,
kind of
no.
do.
Let's
I
see what
was-
happens.
Yeah.
Let's
You know,
go
it was
with
really
it.
nice
Less
knowing
happy
you
with
guys.
3, so
It's been an
I
honor
mean,
playing with all
I'm
of
just,
you.
I'm
so-
just gonna bolt for the. I mean, I might just bolt for the river if swords start flying.
I'm sticking to the Great Gary bit. If Sybil's life falls apart, I've got a backup at least. You know?
With this showman called Gary, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Just be a traveling
Great,
alchemist, it'll be fine.
Right,
Be more peaceful.
His hand reaches out and just settles on the handle for the carriage door. It just kind of looks over at Cecily, not breaking eye contact. You get the feelings that every other word that's falling on his ears at the moment just dissipates. So, you've already opened it today. It's that volatile, is it?
As I say, I can only open it a certain amount of time a day just to check on it. But generally, I want to keep it as cool as possible. Opening the door raises the temperature, and I'd rather not do it too often.
Understandable. How cold does it get in there?
Oh, it's pretty chilly. Do they work in Celsius or Fahrenheit here? Which one is it?
And it's your
Alice?
world.
I
It's
answer
your
your-
bit. Yeah.
I answer your question with a question.
Bring
Let's
it.
say Celsius.
Celsius. Okay, grand. It needs to be ideally between 3 to 5 degrees.
Just places his hand on the side of the carriage. Oh, I feel it. Chilly in there.
Ah. It sucked when there was that storm. We were so chilly, so chilly.
It was definitely a boon for the vaccine, but yeah, everyone else was rather soggy. But now the sun's out. Yes, I need to keep it closed.
Well, I wouldn't want to interfere with the greater good, would I? And he just kind of takes his hand from the carriage and just again kind of wipes them clean. His pipe still hanging off of his teeth. I mean, it's so cold you wouldn't do something daft like I don't know, endanger a child by placing him inside it. That would be madness, surely. You seem like reasonable people.
Who puts a child in a fridge with volatile? What?
We don't have.
That is a very good question. I'll tell you the type of person that will do that. A monster.
Or a magician. I once saw a magic trick where someone hid in a fridge for 3 hours and then it turned out to be a big bunch of flowers. You can never judge. Yeah. Even if people are hiding in somehow this big thing, and I'm going to raise my voice so that inside the carriage they would be able to hear.
Sir,
it would be absolutely ridiculous to put something in a...
I'm going to warn you exactly once to keep your mouth shut until I next speak to you.
Sorry.
And he turns his eyes back to Cecily. Let's call this the benefit of the doubt, shall we? That you're clearly not the type of monster that would lock a child in a cold place. Not the type of monster that would lead them across a country, dragging all forms of chaos in their wake. You're not that type of monster, are you?
No.
Good. Because I tell you, I can smell them. There's an air to them. A scent that hangs around those people. It smells like blood. Blood and fire.
That might be me. I have a condition.
Yeah, it's real bad.
No, see, here's the thing. I can literally, I think I'm gonna go. I mean, and like slightly cut myself because my blood actually smells now, as a side effect of the black stuff.
Ah, clever. And you were also cooking a hare, so you probably still smell a bit like wood smoke.
Oh my god. Lewis, put it away! You know I'm
sorry,
scared
Lewis,
of blood!
I'm just proving to the nice man that and I'm like proffer my arm to him.
Oh my God. You kind of proffer your arm, and he just very gently holds it there.
I do apologize. It's
takes his glove and just runs his thumb along the wound.
Ugh, man, that's not how you do it.
That's not
I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't have done.
If he now asks for your address as well, run.
He just he lets your hand go. He just kind of lets your arm go. You should get checked.
He was born with it. He was born with it. We talked so much about it.
I've tried everything.
It's real bad.
It's a burden.
Well, I'm sure it is, and I feel your strain, young lady, he says, looking at Jules.
Oh, we're not a couple.
No, this is... Oh, no.
No, ew, no.
Oh, we're not from that part of Chalice.
No.
Despite the accents.
Quick
Funny,
question.
I wouldn't have put you as siblings. Go ahead, Lynn.
If Eddie can hear all this, can Sam fit under one of the benches? And if so, can she like bundle him in with a load of blankets and stuff to try and disguise him as like a lump whilst this conversation's happening outside, just in case the guy does end up opening that fridge? And then we don't need to worry about Sam. It's just Eddie in there.
Not in the fridge.
What?
Not within that room.
No. I mean,
like-
if she sneak while all this is happening outside, because Subil raised his voice.
Yeah.
If she can sneak out, get Sam underneath one of the benches and bundle him in with like all our blankets that we have, so
And
he
then
looks
I'll hide back
lumpy,
in.
and then she hides back in the fridge. At least then Sam is safe.
I'm good with cold temperatures.
Theoretically.
I can handle cold temperatures.
Well,
Theoretically.
why mess with it? It was
Yeah.
fantastic.
We had this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought we had
We'll
this.
have
If that
to take
happens,
risks to it.
sad times.
Don't push our luck. Please don't push our
I'm
luck.
not
Okay.
gonna do it, but like I'm definitely gonna make sure that kid's wrapped up warm the second we leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ben, you're muted.
Sorry.
If we
No,
can't
it's fine.
hear him, nothing
I
bad can
noticed.
happen.
He's got chat.
After his comment of I wouldn't have placed you as siblings, he just kind of steps back, spits on the floor again. Well, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Really, I am. We have to be doubly careful, I'm sure you can tell. If you happen to run into anyone who, well, I assume you've seen the wanted posters.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah, we've got a few just in the hut. I've been looking at them for the last few days. If you happen to see anyone who looks familiar, tell them there's a lot of things the wardens won't forgive. Child endangerment is one of them.
Preach.
Possibly the highest, at least in my books. I
You
would
have a
be
big
very...
A big heart.
Big heart. Like a man.
We know. We
Thank
just
you.
have that sense.
Be sure that if you do run into them, one, obviously give them distance. The Inquisition wouldn't be chasing them so fervently if they weren't dangerous, reckless criminals.
I doubt we want to like go up to them. We just tell
we
you
don't want-
guys, right?
we don't want any
like.
part.
Oh, of
No,
course.
I don't want to
any
hurt
part.
myself.
No.
I'm quite weak myself.
Oh, I'm sure. But, as I say, tell them we don't forgive it. We won't accept this type of madness. And, frankly, should this continue, this cavalcade of monstrosities they seem to be bearing with them, they will go from being in our attention to the focus of our attention. I hope my words are understood.
I would hope, and I'm sure you would hope,
Yeah.
we would not get close enough to deliver that message. But should it happen, I feel like we could get them the gist.
Yeah, I can write something down. I can
Oh,
give
yeah.
a letter. I'm much better with writing stuff down.
Quickly, and then come and find you, of course.
Of course. And I trust the both of you are martyr-fearing citizens of Chalice. So I think we're done here. Please, mount back up, be on your way, keep an eye out for any dangerous passers-by, and make sure those vaccines get where they're going. Meant to go on Ireland, wasn't it?
Right.
I'll be sure to get people to follow up
Thank you.
Excellent.
if we can't assist where we can.
I think we all need some good news in this world, so if we can report on the success of the vaccine, that would be morale boosting for all.
And
You're
thank
not
you for
wrong.
your vigilance. Always appreciate.
And make
Well.
sure to come and see the great Gary.
Shut up, Gary.
Sorry.
Sorry, he does that. It's
Every
like
time.
every hour,
like a
like
tick.
at least
Yeah,
20
he
times. It's like,
can't help
shut
himself.
up.
Well, oh, and of course, just in case you have any information, please feel free to stop at the Warden House and ask for Jonas Mitfield. He just kind of places his hand on his chest. Warden of the courts, of course. Right, please. He just clicks his fingers. Let them through. It's been a pleasure meeting you all. Oh, he just moves his, kind of goes back and picks up the address that's just crumpled underfoot. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's for your your man.
Associate.
Mhm.
You're
Oh,
so
don't worry.
cheeky.
He hands it back to you. He's no longer my associate.
He seems so nice.
And he just
Maybe
kind of
they were together. Maybe they were together, and you just split them up.
I
Lewis.
keep doing this.
Every time. Every time. It's just your bait magnet. That's what you are.
I break hearts. I break hearts. I don't even mean to. I do.
He steps away.
Climbing rapidly up onto the...
Yeah.
Get me in that fucking cart now.
He steps away and kind of heads back over to the hut and just leans there watching as the barricade is lifted and that plank of wood is just moved aside to let the carriage ride by. And as you kind of slowly pass off, he just sits there, raises his pipe in your direction. And just through the window, both Subil and Jack, you get the distinct feelings that his eyes are just tracking you as you make your way across.
I'm going to make eye contact while I'm waving. Just kind of...
Wait till you draw a poster. The show.
And at that, you just kind of ride straight past and continue down the cobblestone to the south. A few more hours pass, and nightfall begins to fall, or nightfall begins to come. You're still about half a day's ride now. You can see the lights of Southhurt in the near distance. Your ride has kind of risen up and over a small hill to the point where you have a rather lovely view of the countryside, of Southhurt, of Faith off in the far, far distance, and the great central sea that runs throughout the middle of Chalice. And you have the option. You can either set up camp, you can ride through the night. As I say, it's only about a half day's ride from here.
I say we set up camp because I'm going to guess me and especially Sam, we're going to be cold. And I will just say the second we're out of that, I'm hoping someone's knocking the door the second we're out of use so I can get Sam out and just wrap it in a bunch of blankets.
I was going to say, don't we want to go to like a tavern or something, or an inn? Because I'd get rid of my fatigue. That might be nice.
I'd say we are almost certainly being followed and tracked.
Yeah, we've been made.
We're certainly being watched. So whatever we do, we need to be super careful. Now, I think
the two of you can't get out of the cart. You can get out of the cold, obviously, but you can't get out of the cart because if they see that, then...
Yeah.
That being said, I might be able to sneak away because I'm facing the crowd and I'm built to sneak out of the car.
No, you can. I meant Edlynnne and.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
right,
look, I just want to get Sam out of the freezer as quick as I can, just wrapping in a bunch of blankets. Like not even like literally get all the blankets and wrap it around him.
I mean, I'm happy making camp like not in a tavern where more and more people could recognize us. If we can find like a copse or something to set up in.
Mm-hmm.
I
think that would be better, and then maybe Jules can sleep on one of the squishy benches to get her fatigue down. Be slightly more comfortable than the tent.
I think I might try and it might be worth me trying to sneak into the city before we all head in tomorrow. Because I might have some freed contacts or something like that in the city. I know I possibly
If we're being followed, then there's no way me and the kid can leave this carriage. But
is it worth doing something similar to what we did before, where we leave the carriage outside the city and then go in groups?
Well, the carriage needs to get in the city because we need to hand off the vaccines and get on the boat.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So either way, the carriage needs to go in.
I think we could go in separate groups then, right?
Mm-hmm.
To not arouse suspicion.
You're going to have to make up the fuck out of me then.
Can do.
Yeah.
And we've got time if we stop, right?
With the eyebrows.
Yeah, try to find a way to sneak in.
Monobrow.
So.
How quickly can you grow your beard?
Well, that's not how beards work.
No, I thought you just concentrate really hard and then.
Beard growth
Right?
serum.
Yeah.
It is true.
Yeah, that's how they work.
Yep.
What's your plan then? What exactly are you doing next?
Ben, way back when, I seem to recall that I may have an optional contact within a city that I can call upon at will.
You can.
Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is it worth calling upon that contact to get friends within the city? Last time we tried to get into the city and contacted friends in the Freed, it didn't go too well, to say the least. So having a...
Please don't remind me of that time.
While
It was
not
very
guaranteed,
Ending saved us.
more likely to be person ally
Ending
that's
did save us.
going to be in there. That might be an advantage, especially now that we know that we're being watched. It might help us get around sneakier, or at least give us some more information.
I would say my answer to that question very simply is, do you believe it would be an advantage?
Brain. So we know that they know we're here. We know that they know who we are. We know that they know that we know that they know who they are, even though we don't. That makes sense in my brain. I think we need as many advantages as we can get.
I know a place that we can go.
So you know a place, I know a person.
It's an underground bar.
I could meet my contact in the underground bar. Is it anonymous?
It's anonymous. No one knows anyone there. Everyone has code names. It's also an inn.
I like your thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. The character's name is Ginger Beer. We need to meet. It's a big ginger guy. It makes sense.
Okay.
I think we'll get some rest. Rest up. Me and Jules head in to try and meet our contact in the underground bar.
I wish I made that up on the spot, like I wrote it down. I wrote it down like it's here. I've got notes about this.
Holy shit. Fucking hell. Well done. I respect the hustle.
God. So, we head in. We'll head to your underground bar. Who are we leaving back at the caravan or carriage, and why / for how long?
Shouldn't it be Edlynnne and the kid? And because they're the ones that can't exit the cart because they're the only ones they don't have a bead on, and if they suddenly just miraculously appear,
I am more than certain that they knew that we were in the back of the cart.
Yeah.
Like, I more than certainly knew, but I still risk it.
The issue that we face is we need to get everyone inside the city, and there's going to be similar checks to what
the cart's going in either or. So if we, could we make it?
We can still use our fridge compartment as storage. I think is less likely to be searched by anyone other than the warden.
Yeah.
So it's going to need to be Subil and Jules going in for the bar, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm happy to stay with the carriage, which, if anyone asks us from that checkpoint, it gives us some deniability because there's a face, it's my car, etc.
Mm-hmm.
That's also somebody who can sit outside the cart and drive it so that Edlynnne and Sam can stay in the back. And Cecily should probably stay with us as well because she's the alchemist. And then it's kind of up to Jack either way.
Oh, I mean, I feel as much as I'd like to go into this shady underground bar, I feel like it, unless Subil can make me look like a completely different person.
With more time, I probably could get better successes on my...
Yeah, on the drive there rather than 3 minutes before we have to...
So you could...
Okay, well, if you... Yeah, I think it might be a bit beneficial because you're going to... Not to be rude, but I feel I'm I'm better in a scrap than you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm obviously... We don't want it to go that way, but it might do. So if you can make this not be this, then I'll come with you. Yeah.
There is a chance, though, if we want to do anything, there is a chance that they think me and Alister and Cecily are kind of away from you guys,
Right.
because that's what we're focused on.
Mm-hmm.
They may not know that we are actually working together.
So are you suggesting that you three go, that you, Alister, and Cecily go in?
Yeah.
Rather than,
but I feel like having Cecily away from the vaccines is a bad idea because if it starts
Yeah.
stuff, we're not going to know what we're not going to know what to do.
No,
I feel
I'm saying when we hand in all the vaccine stuff, when we turn
Right.
up the
okay.
hall, it could be just
Okay.
us three, because
yeah.
the other two then you guys can hide off somewhere else. Because if we turn up with you guys and the poster, we can say, well, they just left. We're here to just kind of do the job. That's what we came for. And get plausible deniability.
And all we need to do is just hand over the vaccine.
Yeah.
Although we do need to take it on the boat.
Yeah.
We do.
So, yeah, we've got to
we
take
need
it
to
on
get
the,
on
well,
the
we've
boat
got to
with
get
it.
everyone on the
Yeah.
boat. So,
So we'll get on the fucking boat. So at the end of the day,
correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah,
I've just made this really hard by trying to hide myself.
But I mean, when we
so
come
we've
back,
got
That's right, cool.
Yeah, we've got the evening where we're camping close to the city but not inside.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If during that evening, then we've got Jules and Subil going in to the bar, seeing if they make any contacts. In the morning, we make plans for the other 5 of us, including Sam, to meet the 2 of you in the city. We stay in the cart, bring the cart in. We'll meet you in the city. All of us take the vaccines to the boat or work out what we're doing on the boat, off the boat, etc.
We'll rendezvous
Hopefully-
in the secret underground bar.
Maybe even with the help of whoever we find in the secret underground bar.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Yeah.
and
Sounds like
what
a
we're
plan.
looking for at the bar is things like papers, able to get out of this city easily, any other people that we might need to know, and ways to kind of go under the radar of.
Yeah. I might shop for disguises.
Yeah.
I'd like to get papers with my alias's name on, because I've got
If someone can,
identification
like-
with my name on.
If someone can get like a face covering, because I feel like that's the only way I can get Edlynnne out and about.
I'll look for papers. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I turn up.
Milk and eggs as well. We've been out for weeks.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to
Thank you.
make
I've
my
been meaning to say.
cakes?
Oh, can you
We
get
keep
some sugar
emptying
as
the
well?
fridge,
Actually.
though. We keep chucking everything out of the fridge, so we've
We
got
keep having to hide from monstrous,
Yeah, but when we get rid of the vaccine, there'll be room for
totalitarian
2
government,
people
This
and
is
some
true.
eggs.
my milk.
This is
And we don't have to keep the fridge on, so we can actually like use it. We don't also we could
So-
actually use it like different storage space as well. Like
For clarification, then,
We gain a cupboard.
you're
Exactly.
heading to camp closer to the city,
Mhm.
and then in either the dead of the night or early in the morning, Sybil and Jules will be heading out to try and make their way to the underground inn. Reach
I wanna
Ginger
come.
Beer. It's a statement I'm only going to say so many times in my life. And try to
Talked
settle.
about this, Ben. We talked about this.
I know. He's sat in my notes as well. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Mine too.
And try and plan out your next step. Is that about correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So with that said, then, you make your way closer to the city, riding through the night a little bit longer. Several of you kind of take the time to sleep inside the carriage, resting away as the kind of slow rocking of it puts you to sleep. Eventually, you find a small secluded area just off the main road, not too far from a series of houses that just kind of run along the exterior of the city close to the main roads. You keep the lights of those buildings, the small fires and gas lights of their street lights in the near distance as you settle in for the night. Are you taking a watch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Anyone anyone prefer there? Anyone wishing to take first watch?
Well, I'll take.
I haven't done it before, so
Oh, go on.
yeah, I'll take
I would
first
say
watch.
I do it, but I don't want to leave. I'm
I'll
scared
take
of the
second watch then.
Well, it depends
I'll
on
do-
when we're leaving.
I'll do third.
Yeah, when you're.
Oh, that's a good point.
If
Well,
we're leaving
if I do,
like, if we're leaving soon, we might as well take first watch, and then after we leave, someone takes over after us. Unless we want to try and get like an hour's sleep before we go, but I don't know.
I'm
Easily done.
nah, three's a crowd.
Okay.
But I'm just spitballing.
I will take one of the watches.
And as another, I'm not a face on a poster. I'll take whatever's left if needed.
I will give someone my sword so in case something happens, they can like stab.
Can I hold the sword just so I can hold the sword?
You can hold the sword just so you can hold the sword.
I like swords.
Just there on my watch, looking at this sword with glee, going, "I have a sword."
It's like a. It's
You
like
get
a
distracted.
I've never held one before.
It's like a scalpel but big.
Brilliant. Well, with
I
that,
call it a people opener.
the night falls in place, and as the moon hangs high over you, your watch goes through relatively undisturbed. Elsewhere,
No, don't do this.
sat just leaning over a lovely lacquered oak table, numbers of papers lying around them, a man, aged, sits with a quill and ink, just taking down information. An almanac sat beside him, carefully bubbling away as he looks out over the specimens of various plants that line the wall across from him. Humming to himself as he writes, the door opens, and a relatively short, pale-faced man with numerous burns across his features walks in, just quietly places a new piece of paper down in front of him. On the paper, there's a sketch and a number of descriptions of a large creature spotted in Killport, towering over buildings, crushing buildings with ease, throwing men as if they were nothing. And the man who writes, his humming stops, and a smile plays against his wizened, aged lips. Oh, my pretty flower. You've bloomed so beautifully. Find him. Bring him back to me. We'll be ashamed to not have the set. And that is where we will end this week's session.
What the fuck?
Turn into Attack on Titan now.
There's so many thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh, you fuckers.
Let them fight.
No.
I mean,
Let them fight.
Do I know anything? I don't know anything about that.
I do.
I don't know anything about it.
Okay, good.
You do.
You do?
I don't know fuck about shit.
My memory is short.
Lynn wouldn't know
Oh, shit.
anything, but Max may do.
Well, okay.
I don't know shit about fuck.
So Max
Well.
would know, but Jules wouldn't. Okay.
Yeah, Max would know.
One way or the other. That is where we will be ending the session this week. And look, we almost made it to 11 o'clock rather
Hey.
than half past. So,
God.
once again, before we take off for the evening, let's just run through who everyone is and where we can find you in the future. Lynn,
Hello. Yes, I'm Lynn. I'm also known as Pan. I play Cecily. I've been in chat. My Twitch channel is Pontouf Art. I go with Pan because it's so much easier. I do stream most days on Twitch. I start at 12 midday British summertime. So if you want to see art like what is up behind me, it would be really cool to join you. For you to join me. Words, it's late. All my other socials are you can find on my Twitch page, website, shop, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, although I very rarely use the TikTok. But yeah, if you'd like to come say hi on any of those platforms, that'd be grand.
perfect. Thank you very much. Billy?
Hello, I am Billy. As always, I don't really exist on the internet, not yet at least. As always, again, I'm slowly working on some stuff relating to world building. So if that's something that interests you, come back next week and then see if I've started completing that project yet, or if I'm still procrastinating. In the meantime, I'll be here next week. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Jago?
Hi, I'm Jago Ash. Again, I don't exist, similar to Billy. And please come back next week. Oh boy.
We just will you into existence.
Yeah.
explanations.
Honestly, it's just these guys that are the only thing keeping me on this realm.
Every week.
Well, I hope it's worth it. Probably not.
It is.
Max?
Yeah, I'm Max. I play Jules. Yeah, come back next week. Hopefully, things go a little bit better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I say it every week. I've got to hope. If I don't.
Positivity.
But I hope.
Holly?
I'm Holly. I play Edlynnne. I finally got to. Well, I didn't stab anyone this week, but I finally got to do some action, which was good. You can find me on Instagram at either Healey or on Twitter at MusicManHolly. Give me about a month, and I'll hopefully start posting some music stuff. And yeah, we'll come back next week to see if I actually am able to get out of the fridge. Because I think that is my main goal.
Are you still in the closet?
We don't talk about the closet, Jago. We don't talk about the closet.
And of course, last but not least, James.
Hey, I'm James, and I didn't stab a teenager. So, you know.
We're all proud of you. We are
He
proud
grows up so
progress.
fast.
I'm so disappointed.
Emotional
So disappointed.
maturity.
Just the one stab.
No.
I am at Gillenstern on online. But, Holly, you were complaining about lack of action. There was action to be had.
Oh, yeah, but stabbing a kid is against the rules, apparently.
I mean, it's action. I'm just like, Anyway, yes, I am at Gillenstern. I am part of Follow Black Cats, which is Black Cats Gaming. We make a game called The Spy Game, which is great. It's a 5e modern game, which Sam, who is my business partner, wrote. Well, I wrote a chunk of it as well. But anyway, I just finished writing the armory for Curse Captains of Cthulhu, which is our current game that we've kickstarted, and you can still go and have a look at Follow Black Cats for it. That was 25,000 words of fun times and exploding gadgets and pistols and all sorts of
Nice.
tinctures, victuals, and ship's biscuits and various other things as well. So yeah, that was fun.
Cheers.
I am on here every Wednesday with these lovely peeps, obviously, and then Follow Black Cats is on pretty much most other days. If not, I am streaming with other people. I'm going to be streaming more when I finally get another monitor that can go there, because I can't stream and watch chat at the same time because I find myself tabbing all the time and it looks weird. But yeah, so I'm going to be starting streaming come May time, when, you know, the company pays me some stuff, which would be nice. Yeah, so I'll say more about that when it happens. But yeah, I thought today went well. I don't know what everyone's.
Yeah.
I didn't stab anybody.
We're not dead.
We're not dead.
No one nearly died
Bar
of their
is-
injuries.
It was
The
fine.
bar is
Yeah.
set quite
Low.
low, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We shouldn't be thanked for the bare minimum.
I feel like
to be fair.
Iron Jules's bar was pretty low, and Bear was almost the minimum we gave. So,
At least you guys didn't like trip and fall down a hill and then just completely.
It was
like,
quite hilarious.
Nobody saw
Any
it's fine.
dignity that I had left, like Edlynnne had left, is just gone now. Honestly,
I mean, no one saw. Well, one person saw it, but he's not telling.
Yes, and if he tells anybody,
Tell no one.
he may have his throat opened. Just saying.
Hey, look,
The people opener is there for a reason.
Yeah.
exactly. And Toby
not.
is people. But what?
Wait, who said that?
And on that bombshell.
And yeah, very much on that bombshell. Max, who are you? Where are you?
Well, I've already said, yeah.
Max, my brain is
Play
shot.
Jules is, yeah, it's really good fun. Come back next
You
week.
can tell. Yeah, it's been a long one. And of course, finally, I'm Ben. I'm here, barely hanging on at moments. All right, well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and hopefully we will see you again next time. Don't forget to go off and have a look at our wonderful sponsors, and of course, our own cast outside of this space. Thank you very much. We'll see you all next time. Cheers.
Bye.